Falcons. Once again, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zach Barsh. My partner's name for this afternoon's contest is Derek Staley. Priority number one, Derek, probably should be to talk about the weather here. A high of 1 degree in River Falls, Wisconsin today.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want the, thanks again for having me, but yeah, you don't really want the weather to be the main story, but it has to be today. We have a game time temperature at kickoff of 1 degree. The real feel is -7, so the elements are certainly going to be a factor today.
Slight breeze, gusting up to about 15 or 20 miles an hour here this afternoon for most of the afternoon. The River Falls Falcons won the coin toss. They will receive the opening kickoff. They will be heading south to north across your TV screen. Glad to have you along for the ride here this afternoon. Mateo Jesh, the senior from Fishers, Indiana, is going to get the football and tee it up for the Wheaton College Thunder. Second place finishers in the CCIW taking on the conference champions from the WIAC, the River Falls Falcons. In the final regular season poll by the D3Football.com guys, River Falls was ranked number 3. Wheaton College, with their 2 losses, ranked number 19. 2 pretty good losses for the Thunder on the year, Derek. Those 2 losses came against the defending national champion, North Central College, and the number 1 overall seed in this tournament, Mount Union.
Yeah, two good teams from 2 of the best conferences in all of Division III football, so very battle-tested, both teams. Obviously, we're in the quarterfinals now, so every team is going to be, but yeah, I expect a really good football game with 2 good football teams from 2 good conferences.
Yeah, 2 really good offensive teams. Wheaton and River Falls tied for 5th in the country at 47 points a game, respectively, on both sides. We'll see 2 Gallardi Award semifinalists, both starting quarterbacks this afternoon, being named to that watch list earlier this week. Of course, the senior Caleb Blaha, the 2-time now All-American for River Falls, taking on Mark Forcucci and this Wheaton Thunder offense.
Yeah, and the 2 best offenses in the playoffs so far. Both teams averaging about 50 points per game. So with the elements, I still expect to see some offensive fireworks today.
Jesh has it teed up. Jalen Reed and Daniel Stokes back deep to receive for River Falls. And we are underway from River Falls, Wisconsin. High end over end kick. Reed will take it at the 7-yard line far side. Got some space, crossing the 30, and he's pushed out of bounds. On that Wheaton sideline, River Falls with decent field position, this Top Gun offense for their first possession of the afternoon.
Yeah, River Falls elected to receive on the coin toss, which is not common these days, but they want to get the offense started. They want to get the offense on the field, and let's see some fireworks early.
Wheaton fans who are joining us, or anybody across the D3 landscape not familiar with watching River Falls games, they go at a breakneck speed here on offense. They'll be right back up to the line of scrimmage as soon as the last play is done. Caleb Blaha in an empty set to open this one. He's going to take a shot right away, looking for Blake Rohr. Great catch on the far sideline in Thunder territory near the 40.
Yeah, it was good coverage there by Wheaton College, but Blake Rohr there just goes up and makes a good play.
Right into Thunder territory on the first play from scrimmage. Rohr is going to be by himself at the bottom of the screen now. Asher to Caleb Blaha's left in the backfield. Trevor gets the call, the 6'1", 215-pounder on first down. Not much going. He's brought down by the Thunder's leading tackler, number 12, Zeke Harris, the sophomore from Claremont, Georgia.
And one thing you will see from this Wheaton College Thunder team is they are a physical football team. They tackle well. They fly to the football. Definitely something to watch today.
1-yard gain for Asher on first down. 2nd and 9. Caleb's going to throw. He's got the quick hitter out to Austin Rush on the far side. Trying to push his way down past the 35, and he does. It'll be a pickup of about 4 or 5, making it 3rd and now manageable.
Yeah, good pickup there on 2nd down. You want to make 3rd and manageable.
They'll call this 3rd and 4. Asher to the right of Caleb Blaha. Johnstone, the tight end. Caleb throwing it. Far side again. This time it's Weslowski. Makes the first man miss. He's got the first down. And then he's wrapped up by the safety Colin Moore. But he does pick up that first down.
One thing to watch for today is it is so cold. How does the ball come out of the quarterback's hands? Both quarterbacks, we watched them warm up. Look good throwing it, but as the game wears down, your hands get cold, and we'll see how that affects the game.
Minute and a half in, Caleb by himself in the backfield. Falcons operate exclusively out of the shotgun. Again, quick hitter. Again, it's Weslowski on that far side. This time the starting corner, I believe it's Mason Haas on that far side, brings him down after a minimal gain.
And if we continue to see off coverage, which I'm sure Wheaton College will mix up their coverages, but if we do continue to see off coverage, River Falls will just take that all day.
So 2nd and 4. This time it's Asher on the handout. Plenty of space. He's into the secondary before he's ripped down, but not until after he gets another Falcon first down on this drive.
Really good job by DJ Fox, the left tackle, just caving that down, and good read by Caleb Blaha. And Trevor Asher, not an easy guy to bring down, especially on a day like today.
Excellent opening drive for River Falls. 2.5 minutes in. And again, handoff Asher. This time, not much going. Zeke Harris, the first one to hit him. A couple of those linebackers also filled. Luca Torti in on the stop. A couple of yards. Give him 3 or 4 on the play.
And one thing to keep an eye on also, as we talked about it pregame, is the size difference up front.
Yeah.
River Falls, very, very big offensive line, a little bit undersized defensive line for Wheaton College.
Caleb to throw on second down. Immediately rolls out to his left, still looking at the end zone. Tried to dump it off to Trevor Asher. Instead, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Zeke Harris for an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, tried a little basketball pass there from Caleb Blaha. Good coverage on the back end by Wheaton.
Haven't talked about him yet, but these are the situations where a guy like Peter Johannek can really shine for this Wheaton Thunder defense. 14 sacks on the season for the senior from West Chicago, Illinois. Caleb to throw here on 3rd down. Needs 7 yards. Plenty of time. Back of the end zone. Got his man. Caught for a touchdown, River Falls.
I think that's Blake.
Blake Rohrer in the back of the end zone. Got a foot down. Made another acrobatic catch, his 2nd of the drive. River Falls on the board first.
And you talked about a partner. The defensive ends for Wheaton College are extremely good, and great job by that offensive line and giving Caleb plenty of time to find Blake Rohrer in the back of the end zone.
The 8th receiving touchdown of the season for Blake Rohrer. We see Justin Chevrolet on for the extra point. The long snapper is Brandon Bedelov. The holder is Jake Barnard. It's a good snap. Spot is down, kick is up, and it's right down the middle. Justin Chevrolet. Only 1 missed extra point all season. Came 2 weeks ago against Chapman. But he knocks that one through. River Falls on the board first. They lead it early. Very important usually for this team to get out to a hot start. We see more of the same here today, Derek.
Yeah, that's why they elect to receive quite often. They want to start early, get their opponent down, let them get their offense started hot, and ideal start if you're a Falls fan.
Winner of this quarterfinal matchup here in Wisconsin is going to take on, well, we already know the answer. Winner of this game will get Johns Hopkins University next weekend. They defeated Susquehanna by a score of 40-10 earlier today. That game just went final about 45 minutes ago. John Carroll, after the upset over the #1 overall seed Mount Union Purple Raiders last weekend, they go on the road and they defeat Berry College by a score of 21-13. So we'll see John Carroll on to the semifinals. They will get the winner of North Central against Bethel, which is happening right in Wheaton's backyard, actually, down near Chicago, Illinois here this afternoon. North Central right now with a 28-7 lead over the Bethel Royals, and of course our game here this afternoon. So winner of this one, again, going to take on Johns Hopkins next weekend for a right to go to the national championship game. Chevrolet's got it teed up. He's ready to kick off. Wheaton will move north to south on their first offensive possession. Couple men back deep to receive, Ryan Kenyon and Kenny Jager. Jager takes it at about the 15, cuts it to the middle of the field, takes a huge hit, but stays on his feet, and then the rest of the Falcons arrive on the stop, so Wheaton will start right near their own 22-yard line.
A unit that has had a little struggle in the past early in the season that has definitely shored up for the Falcons. That kickoff unit did a nice job there in coverage.
Ben Weslowski, one of the starting receivers for the Falcons, was the star of special teams units last week. He made 3 really nice open field tackles in the win over St. John's.
And now we'll get to see Ferrucci, one of the most efficient passers in all the country here.
Region 5 first team player Mark Forcucci and his offense out on the field for the first time. Matt Kreider gets the handoff on first down, going off left tackle and out to the outside. It's a nice pickup of about 5 before he's ripped down by Gage Tim and a couple other Falcons.
Something we'll see a lot from Wheaton College is that read option. We'll see lots of different versions of it. They like to run a lot of RPO slants. We'll see that plenty today.
Tight end Ben Juska goes in motion across the formation. There was some question about whether or not he was going to play this afternoon. He's out with the first team offense here. Forcucci under some pressure, throws to the outside, it's incomplete. Pretty good coverage on this near side by Andre Hall, one of the leading interceptors on this Falcon defense. He's got 4 interceptions on the season. Forces the outside throw, and it's incomplete for third down.
Yeah, something I noticed watching Wheaton earlier this year, they're in the playoffs, is they played a lot of teams that played zone coverage. River Falls does not play a lot of zone coverage. If you play zone coverage and you play an RPO team, those windows get big.
Right.
Because the linebackers, they put them in conflict, and it makes it tough on those linebackers. You'll see a lot of man coverage from River Falls today due to that.
6 yards to get on third down. Kortenhoven and Titherington move to the inside of the formation. Quick throw to the outside. Receiver slipped and it's incomplete. Forcucci had his man, but his intended target on the outside was number 10, Thomas Grupner. He slipped as the ball was coming to him, forced the low throw, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, we maybe saw the first effect of the elements in the frozen field today. Is it's really hard to get your footing. That frozen field, you really got to break down and get it in out of your cuts, surely.
The 6'3" junior from Zionsville, Indiana, Josiah Smith out there to punt for the first time today. Jalen Reed back deep to receive for River Falls. His heels will be at his own 33-yard line. Man in motion, good snap. Punter had some trouble with it. It's a low kick. It's going to take a really nice Wheaton Thunder bounce all the way down inside the 10-yard line, still rolling, and finally down at the 6-yard line. That worked out about as well as you could have hoped if you're a Wheaton Thunder fan. Ends up being about a 50-yard punt or so, and River Falls backed up deep in their own territory.
Yeah, punter struggled with it, almost got blocked, but ended up getting it away. You want to see, if you're a River Falls fan, you definitely want to see Jalen catch that one.
Right.
He lost a lot of field position due to that, but we'll get to see this Top Gun offense back on the field.
Quarterback Caleb Blaha, first-team All-American quarterback, named this week for the second time in his career. Leads his offense back out on the field. Taking a shot again on first down. Looking this time, far sideline. They wanted Reifenberger. A lot of contact. Pass is incomplete, no flags.
Yeah, there was a lot of physicality on that far end. A long ways for us to see, so it's hard to see if that was pass interference or not, but refs had a better look at than we did.
Right back into formation, even after an incomplete pass. This offense right back up to the line. This time, quick hitter out to Reed, looking for some blockers. Never quite developed how they would have hoped. So he ends up with just a minimal 1 or 2 yard gain. It's 3rd and long.
Just trying to get Jalen Reed out in space, the speedster. Let him make a play if he can.
Empty set for Caleb on 3rd and 8, looking left. Now he's going over the middle, looking for Hilton. It's a little too far out in front. It'll be 4th down. River Falls will now have to punt. Hilton was open. Caleb just kind of overshot him.
Yeah, we had him on the slant and man coverage there. Ran a good route, just couldn't quite connect there.
So River Falls only gets 2 yards on the drive when they were backed up at their own 6-yard line to start. So freshman punter Jeffrey Freund will have what will be a pretty tough punt with his feet right near the back of the end zone. Wheaton's got 10 guys up on the line of scrimmage. They might try to send pressure on this one. Return man is Seth Kortenhoven. Low punt from Freund. Spiraling one will bounce. Kortenhoven takes it. He called fair catch, and then he's hit after he fields the football with his knee on the ground. So this is going to result in a penalty against River Falls. It'll be their first of the afternoon, and really good field position for Wheaton.
Yeah, that's tough if you're the punt team. He called the fair catch, and then the ball bounces, and then he tries to field it, takes a knee, still can't hit him in that situation.
Right. Unless for some reason he muffed the punt, which he did not do.
Correct. That's a weird one that you don't see very often.
First penalty of the afternoon goes against River Falls. It's unsportsmanlike. Referee this afternoon is Nate Meisner. Our umpire is Jason Weber. The head linesman is Patrick Mullen. Line judge is Joshua Beck. The field judge is Gary Golka. Side judge Aaron Goffman. And the back judge is Jeff Hobbs. Our officiating crew from the MIAC this afternoon, the Minnesota Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Wheaton starting on the River Falls 29-yard line to open this drive. Much better than their first one from their own 22. Deep in Falcon territory. for a offense that has been pretty darn prolific for most of the season, averaging 47 points a game coming in. You don't want to give them this kind of field position.
And this is where Forcucci likes to attack the middle of the field. He's very accurate.
Howard was in motion. They give it to Kreider with some space, cuts it back to the middle of the field, crosses the 25, and he's taken down near the 24-yard line. Jack Olson, along with 99 John Klefstead, bring him down. Gain of 5.
And we'll see a lot of different people carry the ball for Wheaton, but Kreider is definitely the featured back, almost at 1,000 yards this year.
7-0 River Falls, 5.5 minutes into the football game. Wheaton with a 2nd and 5 in Falcon territory. Forcucci, they fake the handoff to Kreider, taking a shot to the end zone. This one is overthrown, and it's going to be incomplete. Looked like he was going to Kortenhoven regardless of the coverage there. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I think he saw man coverage pre-snap, and it kind of makes it an easy decision for him out there. Something you will see just about every time they throw the ball is play action. They a lot of play action passes, RPOs. So something you will definitely see a lot, and the Falcons will have to be aware of that today.
Kortenhoven, his favorite target, 63 catches for 980 yards coming in. I formation under center on 3rd and 5. Handoff to Kreider, and he picks up the first down and some more. Tough physical run inside the 15-yard line. River Falls I don't think, expected them to run the football there on 3rd down. Easy pickup for Kreider. And the Wheaton Thunder are in the red zone for the first time.
Something you don't always see from spread football teams is going under center and running a power I look really there. And that was a counter, old school counter.
Back to the shotgun here on 1st down from the Falcon 14-yard line. 3 receivers set. Juska, the tight end, goes in motion. Outside to the numbers. Forcucci to throw again on play action. Looking inside corner. Nearly a great one-handed catch, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Kortenhoven. Threw it just a little bit too far to the outside. Almost made a sweet one-handed catch, but it's 2nd down.
Yeah, 2 things that don't want to belabor the point of the weather too much, but just not going to be quite as sharp throwing the ball,
right,
and not quite as sharp catching the ball today.
2nd and 10. Kortenhoven in motion. He'll be to the outside on the far sideline. Late substitution for Wheaton, so they'll have to stop the snap if River Falls wants to counter. Play clock is down to 8.
We've got an overload extra lineman in here. And the Wildcat.
Yeah, Juska, the tight end, bad snap. He's able to handle it. Tries to bounce it to the outside. Flag is down. Nussbaum tracks him down near the 11-yard line to bring him to the turf.
We're going to have a hold.
Yep, and we'll see what this flag is for. It's definitely in that territory of holding. That could have been a disastrous snap from the beginning, though. Juska did a great job just to make sure that one didn't get away from him.
Yeah, that's why it was so important to know the status of him coming in the game, because they do run a little wildcat with him back there, and it's definitely a dynamic that, as we'll listen to the call here. Definitely an added dynamic to that Wheaton offense if he's in or out of the game, and obviously he's in the game today. It's a big deal for them.
So back him up 10 yards, making it 2nd and 20. Ball spotted at the 23-yard line. 8.5 minutes to go. Opening quarter from River Falls, Wisconsin. Quarterfinal round of the D3 football playoffs. 4 receivers. Kreider, the tailback. Juska, they swing it out to him on the tunnel screen. Slow him down, and now he's going to be tackled for a loss. River Falls did an excellent job fighting through blocks. Jack Olson and a couple of linebackers out to meet Juska. As soon as he caught the football, it'll be 3rd and really long.
I think that was Susner as the first guy that kind of shot in there and grabbed him by the ankles and gave enough time for the rest of the Falcons to rally to the football there.
Susner, the freshman from Chaska, Minnesota. Huge interception for this defense last week in the win over St. John's. Team leader in interceptions with 5. 3rd and 22. Straight drop for Forcucci. Looking to the right, fires it that way. Oh, nearly intercepted. Threw it right into traffic, and it looked like Andre Hall had it in his hands. It hits the turf. It's 4th and long.
Falcons changing up the coverage a little bit there. They've been playing a lot of man coverage, which they will probably do today, but they dropped into a little bit of a zone and just Paul just sat right in the window, and we'll get to see right at the edge of the field goal range here.
Yeah, Mateo Jesh looks like he's going to try a 41-yard field goal. His long on the season is 39.
The wind has picked up.
They've only attempted,
out here.
Yeah, they only have attempted 5 field goals on the season. And we got a false start. Flag is down before he can try the kick. So this may affect their decision.
Yeah, this will get interesting because we're 4th and very long, and we're going to have 4th and almost 25.
Mm-hmm. And the ball will be, line of scrimmage will be about the 29-yard line.
We did not see him make one from this distance in warm-ups, but the wind has picked up. So
yep, and he does have it at his back, like you mentioned. So now this is a 46-yard field goal, easily his season long.
Watch
Jesh, the senior from Fishers, Indiana. The snap from Jewett. Spot kick is up, and it is no good. He pushed it left. Falcons defense holds after Wheaton starts in River Falls territory at the 30-yard line. They miss a 46-yard field goal, and the River Falls offense is back on the field.
Yeah, he did have the leg, but obviously pulled it left.
And head coach Jesse Scott of the Wheaton Thunder was out on the field up in arms after the play was over, arguing with the officials about something he saw. I'm not exactly sure what. But very visibly upset on that far sideline as his defense heads back on the field. Blaha to throw on first down. RPO to Rohr. He's got him over the middle of the field with some space. Finally ripped down right near the 50-yard line.
And if you see Blake Rohr with man coverage and no help, that's where Caleb's going.
Brett Dieter, the one to bring him down after the 20-yard pickup. Falcons right back up to the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers set. Handoff to Asher on first down. Nothing doing. This is going to be a loss of 1. One of those defensive ends. It was Maxton Leathers, the first one to hit him. 2nd and 11 upcoming for River Falls.
And that time they did roll a safety over to Blake Rohr's side. Just trying to mix up the looks for River Falls.
Weslowski, Austin Rush, and Adam Johnstone, the other receivers on the field right now. Trevor Asher still the tailback. He goes in motion. Caleb to throw, looking right, one-on-one. Looking that way. A lot of contact again. Here comes the flag. He was trying to go to Weslowski. It's incomplete, but River Falls is going to get a first down. A lot of hand fighting going on.
Definitely a lot of physicality, and they were not on the same page was Weslowski and Blaha. They run a lot of option routes, deep and short option routes. It looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication, but you just kind of throw it at your playmaker's way and let him make a play.
Just as we suspected, pass interference called against Wheaton. Joseph Bracey, the guilty party, the senior from Winfield, Illinois, on that far sideline working against Weslowski. It's been an extremely clean pocket for Caleb Blaha so far, too.
Yeah, O-line's done a really good job against a very prolific D-line and one of the best defensive ends in the country, and we'll see if they can keep that up all game, but so far so good if you're a Falcon fan.
Jalen Reed replaces Trevor Asher. He'll go in motion to the outside. Caleb going to run with it off left tackle, waiting patiently for blocks, able to slip through the first line of defenders and pick up about 4 yards.
And that's the first QB power we've seen all game. And we're going to see a funky formation for the Falcons here.
Yeah, 4 offensive linemen move out to the left, swinging gate formation, just 2 down linemen next to the center. Reed in motion, trying to get it to him in space. Torty cuts him off. Reed cuts it upfield and still able to make something out of that one. He'll pick up about 3 yards, making it a 3rd and short, but great job by the linebacker Luca Torty to get to the outside and force him back in.
Yeah, good pursuit there for the Thunder. Jalen Reed is fast, to say the least.
3rd and 2. Handoff, Reed bouncing it back to the left and nothing going there. He's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. River Falls likes to go for it on 4th down like no other.
Yeah, no question here, and I would expect to possibly see some quarterback run here, Caleb Blaha.
Falcons 22 of 39 on the season on 4th down. Caleb will run it. Great call, partner, but he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. They will not get it. It's a turnover on downs.
Well, you can bet if I know it, so does Wheaton. Right. They do like to run Caleb on 3rd and 4th down, and the Wheaton Thunder defense does a nice job there of sniffing that out. And
Johannick, Kroger, and Downing all got off their blocks right at the point of attack there, and they bring down Caleb Blaha for a loss. And the Thunder offense back on the field with 5:37 to go here in this first quarter.
Quick start for the Falcons, but now we're seeing a little back and forth battle, kind of what we thought. Good football teams going at it here.
Yeah, both defenses have settled in. Titherington goes in motion for Cucci to throw. Nobody there. Pumps once, goes to the outside to Titherington. Flag is down. Riley Ashburn pushes him out of bounds before he gets a first down on that far side. Flag was down near the line of scrimmage to the near side, and it looks like early signal is illegal man downfield.
Yeah, that's the issue when you can have with that RPO game is the linemen are trying to get downfield because they don't know if it's run or pass. And the Falcons took away the early slant window, which he was looking for, which causes the penalty.
And for the most part on those RPOs, right, like the linemen are taught to block like it's a run play.
Yeah, you can't do it any other way. They have to try to block it like it's a run play. Some coaches will have them kind of slow play it a little bit, but it's a tough deal if you take away that first window, which the Falcons did.
So a 5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 15, negating the catch from Titherington. 4 receivers here for Cucci. Juska, the tight end, will go in motion. They give it to Kreider off the right side. Trying to spring him free was Juska, but the Falcons defense again fights through blocks. Gauged him, the first one to hit him. And they stop him for just a couple-yard pickup.
And that's our first mention of Gage Tim, the second-team All-American, just announced this week.
And Wyack, Defensive Player of the Year, leading tackler for this Falcon defense. 2nd and 12 here for Wheaton. Again, 4 receivers, 2 to each side of the formation. Again, Juska in motion, the opposite direction this time. He'll line up as an H-back. 4-down lineman for River Falls. Play clock down to 3. They get it off for Cucci to throw. Right side of the field, wide open target. Got his man crossing the 40-yard line is Kortenhoven, He does cross the 40 and gets enough for a first down, pickup of 13.
And that was just a really good route. Just a deep sit route, and he pressed the outside. I was kind of watching him. I thought he'd maybe go there, and he pressed the outside and just sat right across the first down, and good pitch and catch there.
4 minutes to go, opening quarter from River Falls, Wisconsin. The number 3 ranked Falcons on top of the number 19 Thunder by a score of 7-0. Wheaton with a little bit of rhythm on this drive. Now they send Titherington in motion.
Cover 3 here.
Handoff, Kreider got some space off the left side. Nussbaum is going to run him down, but not until after he picks up about 12 yards, and they are again going to operate in Falcon territory.
First down.
Yeah, good job up front. That was a big hole, and another battle that we'll look for is the offense and defensive line for the Falcons and the Wheaton Thunder. A little bit more evenly matched size-wise, but you have to be able to run the football on a day like today.
3 receivers, all to the near side. For Cucci again under center on first down. Kreider, the tailback, 7 yards behind him. Straight drop. They're going to throw it on the bubble screen. Out to Kortenhoven with a little bit of space. He ducks down to about the 40-yard line. Ashburn, the one to come up and make the stop. But a good 6-yard pickup again on first down.
Yeah, that's just an easy pitch and catch. Falcons were playing pretty deep off coverage at about 7 yards, and they're just going to get their best receiver the ball in space, and it's an easy one for them.
Offensive coordinator James Houck calling a good game so far for the Wheaton Thunder. 2nd and 4 from the 40-yard line. 3 receivers stacked to the near side. Lone receiver Kortenhoven to the far side. Ball trouble with the snap. Kreider able to pick it up right off the turf. He's not going to get much yardage, but again, Wheaton avoids disaster on the shotgun snap. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that was just a good heads-up play by Kreider there, and they're going to go quick here.
They need to get to the Falcon 36-yard line for a first down. Again, 3 receivers. H-back is Juska. High snap for Cucci, handles it. Pressure coming. Whoa, nice throw over the middle. Got Kortenhoven again, a first down inside the 30. This for Cucci is very impressive for Wheaton.
Yeah, and just a really good route over there. He saw something he liked. That's why they went quick. I think he has the ability to make that call. He saw some man coverage out there with his best receiver, and something they've been doing all year.
The 6-foot senior from Winfield, Illinois, transferred from Division I Holy Cross before his time here with Wheaton College. 1st and 10 for the Thunder. Howard in motion this time. Fake the handoff to Kreider. Rolling out to the right. Again, he's got his man ducking out of bounds. This time was Titherington, his first catch of the afternoon. It's a 9-yard pickup. It'll bring up 2nd and short.
Just a boot flood concept. The Falcons did a good job of taking away level 1, but it's a good route in level 2 there. Deep comeback.
Approaching 1:15 to go here, opening quarter. Play action for Forcucci, lots of time. Rolls to the right, keeps his eyes downfield, pump fakes against Gage Tim, and then is able to pick up, I think, enough for a first down. They might mark him just short. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard now for Wheaton.
He is a capable runner, but he's definitely, that's not his first, 2nd, or 3rd option. He does a good job keeping his eyes downfield. He's trying to make a play through the air. 90
rushing yards on the season for Mark Forcucci coming in. Play clock down to 15. Wheaton still kind of looking to the sideline. 2 receivers, 2 tight end formation. Titherington in motion. Play clock down to 2. Got to snap the football down to 0, and they do not get it off. I think Jesse Scott got the timeout before the snap of the football. No, they're going to say no timeout. Delay a game.
That's big.
Unless the far side official is talking with the head referee now. They potentially could switch this. So no delay game. They do change the call. So Jesse Scott, just in the nick of time, does call the timeout. That's Wheaton's first here in this first half. They'll get a chance to talk this over, but so will the River Falls defense before this crucial 3rd and 1.
Yeah, last time in this situation, we saw him go under center and have some success. So I wonder if we'll see some I formation under center again from Wheaton here.
Pretty good start from River Falls here this afternoon. First ever meeting between these two teams, regular season or playoffs. Wheaton College making the 371-mile, 5.5-hour trip up to River Falls, Wisconsin for their first ever meeting against the River Falls Falcons. Wheaton College 6-6 all time against the WIAC. Most recent, I believe, was 2024. They defeated UW Stout by a score of 35-32. 3rd down and less than a yard. 28 seconds to go, first quarter.
Got to give a big thanks to Wheaton College Sports Information Department for some nice game notes for us today.
They put together a really nice game preview. Forcucci out of the shotgun on 3rd and short. Man in motion, fake the handoff, quick throw out to the outside. Kortenhofer with a first down. He's brought down right away, but he does pick up a couple of yards, which is plenty enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, quick play action, RPO, off coverage. It's easy for them.
Trent Cherry was the one in coverage on that far side. That may be the last play of the first quarter. It looks like it's going to be. Yep, clock's going to run down to 0 here. River Falls on their opening drive marches right down the field to score the first touchdown of the afternoon. They lead at 7-0, but again, the Wheaton College Thunder in the red zone threatening against this Falcon defense. We'll step aside, take a break. You're listening or watching the Division III quarterfinals on ESPN.
Fans take home a unique souvenir from today's championship. Visit NCAA merchandise stands throughout the venue for a great championship gear and memorabilia.
Seven 7-0 the score. The home team on top of the Wheaton College Thunder by a score of 7-0. Zach Barsh and Derek Staley bringing you all the action from River Falls, Wisconsin. D3 football quarterfinals. Winner of this one going to take on Johns Hopkins next weekend in the national semifinal game. Good start for River Falls, but some things we think they need to shore up on the defensive side here.
Yeah, ideal start for River Falls. They elect to receive and march right down the field and score. After that, we've seen each team kind of exchanging some jabs. Both defensive, like you said, have kind of settled in. Now both offenses, their job is to figure out what they're doing defensively and respond.
98 total yards for the Falcons in the first quarter, 80 for the Wheaton College Thunder. But again, they're threatening 1st and 10 from the Falcons' 17-yard line to open the second quarter. Forcucci straight drop on first down. Looking left, got it that way. Fires it to his man, Charlie Duck, the 6-foot junior, for just a pickup of about 5 on first down, making it 2nd and 5.
14, Charlie Duck.
And we will see them spread the ball around quite a bit to a lot of different receivers. A lot of guys have caught the ball for them this year.
Yeah, 4 different receivers going over 450 receiving yards on the season. Of course, Kortenhoven leads the way with his 981 coming in. He's the favorite. But plenty of capable targets for Forcucci. Howard in motion this time. They're going to throw it to him. Oh, and it's underthrown to the outside. A lot of space for Riley Howard. Forcucci just led him too far, and it'll be 3rd down.
Fortunate if you're River Falls. That's a tough guy to bring down in space. If that pass is accurate, he might have some space to do some damage there.
Howard, 5'10", 226, packs a punch.
226. He looks a little bigger than that in my eyes, but
I think he plays bigger too.
Yeah, definitely does.
Jeska now in there at tight end. 3 receivers set, all to the far side. Straight drop again for Forcucci. Over the middle. Ooh, threw it behind his intended target, Titherington. Nussbaum was in coverage, and it's 4th down.
I think Nussbaum might have got a little tip on it, which caused a little bit of a ricochet. Interesting to see. Kreider has 6 yards per carry so far today, and only on 6 carries. They're having some success on the ground, but they have not gone on the ground to him deep in the red zone.
4th down and 5. Kreider will split out into the slot. It's an empty formation for Forcucci. Looking to that direction. Over the middle. Got his man. 1st and goal inside the 5. It's Kortenhoven. And he makes that 1st down signal over the top of Braden Jones.
Just a simple slant out concept, and that is his route. He is a great route runner, and that slant looks to be his favorite, and he does a good job with it.
Cody Curtis and Bo Schroet check in along the defensive line for River Falls. Heavy package, 2 tight ends. Kreider the tailback. Both tight ends shift to the right side of the formation. Kreider to the left of Forcucci. 1st and goal. Handoff. Kreider. Nope. Forcucci going to follow him into the end zone. Untouched. Touchdown, Wheaton Thunder.
Yeah, just a little play action QB follow, which we don't see a lot of for Wheaton, but it's playoff time. You gotta run your quarterback if you need to, and really nice play design there for the Wheaton Thunder, and we'll see a swinging gate here for them as well.
The 6-foot, 190-pound Mark Forcucci with just his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Wheaton shifts the formation. Mateo Jesh to try the extra point and try to even this one up with 13:29 to go. In the second quarter, extra point is up, really high extra point, but it does go through the uprights, and we are all knotted up at 7 apiece between the Wheaton College Thunder and the River Falls Falcons. 13:29 to go, about what we expected, Derek, at this point in the ball game. 2 really good football teams exchanging punches.
Yeah, a big response for Wheaton. They've been down in the red zone. Now it's their 2nd time deep in the red zone in their the second possession, excuse me, with really good field position. Couldn't punch it in with a missed field goal. Now this time, big response when they really needed it from their offense.
And execution obviously was much better on this try than the first time they were in the red zone. A couple of penalties backed them way up. Missed the field goal, but that time, you were talking about it, that slant between Forcucci and Kortenhoven looks like it is lethal.
Yeah, we're deep in the season here. They've thrown that hundreds of times and thousands of times in practice, and they've really got that perfected and down.
River Falls Top Gun offense set to come back onto the field after the return from either Jalen Reed or Daniel Stokes, who will both be right around the 10-yard line. Jesh is going to get the football and tee it up for the Thunder. Both teams tied for 5th in the country coming into today, 47 points a game. We're even at 7 with 13:29 to go in the first half. Both teams right around 100 yards from scrimmage. It's been really even back and forth so far.
Yeah, really good football game, like you said. That's what we're expecting today. Both offenses are prolific, and 1 and 2 in the country in the playoffs so far as points per game.
Jess kicks it away. It's an end-over-end kick. Stokes will take it from the 14. Up the left hash, bounces off the first wave of defenders, still on his feet, crossing the 20. He's ripped down, his helmet comes off. Hangs on to the football, and the Falcons will start from their own 23-yard line. Stokes took a big hit, but appears to be all right.
Yeah, good coverage there for the Wheaton Thunder kickoff team. Trying a little sideline return to our side. Stokes doing a really nice job of putting 2 hands on the football, though, making sure he's covering that thing up.
Caleb Blaha on an empty set here on first down. Fakes like he was going to run it. Taking a shot, looking for Hilton. Got his man into Thunder territory again near the 40-yard line. What a throw from Caleb Blaha on the connection to Jake Hilton.
What we've seen so far is when they go 3 by 1, they're going to go faster. When River Falls is going 3 by 1, we're getting a lot of man coverage on the backside, and if we see that, we're going to see some shots like that.
Quickly back up to the line of scrimmage. Sticks barely got set. Asher with some space into the secondary. He's brought down by Luca Torti, but not until after another pickup of about 14 yards and another first down. Here comes this Top Gun offense. We've been waiting for it to explode. Clap of the hands from Caleb. Quickly, they'll swing it out to Trevor Asher, crossing the 30, inside down to about the 25. He's hit hard and brought down by 24, Colin Moore. And Zeke Harris also in on the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 8, just a 2-yard pickup. Right back up to the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers to the near side. Looking that way is Caleb. Now he rolls to the left, middle of the field, looking back to the right. One-on-one, looking for Reifenberger. It's going to be incomplete. Just too far on the throw from Blaha.
Good pass protection there, but even better coverage on the back end for Wheaton.
3rd down and 8 after 2 really nice offensive plays for this Falcon offense. They're right back up. They're going to have one-on-one coverage on the far side. Try to get the Thunder to move. Falcons don't take advantage of it. They'll substitute now with the play clock down to 16. Reed comes on, Rohrer comes on, along with Austin Rush and Ben Weslowski.
And now they've got Rohrer. I think they're going to roll over and not play man coverage over there. Oh, they do.
Rohrer one-on-one. He's got him beat, taking a shot to the end zone. Incomplete, just a little too far. You called it, partner. They had Blake Rohrer one-on-one, had him beat. Caleb's throw just a little too far. It's 4th and 8.
Yeah, both teams kind of just relying on their DBs to play man coverage, and River Falls is going to go for it here 4th and long.
Falcons 0 for 1 on 4th down here this afternoon. They convert at about a 60% clip on the season. On 4th down, again, it's too high from Blaha. And again, it's a turnover on downs after the Falcons get into Thunder territory. And the Thunder will take over.
Yeah, just not on the same page. Rohr broke off the route a little shorter because I think he saw the safety over the top, and Caleb just wasn't on the same page with him there.
Caleb upset at himself as they come off the field. 12:03 to go, 2nd quarter. Wheaton coming off a touchdown drive on their last possession. They get it back, starting at their own 25. Mark Forcucci, first-team All-Region quarterback, and Gallardi semifinalist, along with Caleb Blaha, leads his team back onto the field. Excuse me.
The 3rd most efficient quarterback as far as QB rating goes in the country.
Titherington in motion. Fake the handoff to Kreider. Forcucci on play action, taking a shot. Intercepted at the 45-yard line. That is Braden Jones after he got beat on the slant before the touchdown on the last drive. Excellent coverage. He picks off Mark Forcucci for our first turnover today.
I think River Falls caught them in a coverage they weren't expecting because they had 2 guys that could have picked that off, and you're just not going to see that from the quarterback for Wheaton for Cucci, but nice job by the Falcon defense of changing it up a little bit.
So after the turnover on downs, the Falcon defense gets it right back. After the interception from Braden Jones, that is his 4th interception of the season. Falcons defense leading the country in interception takeaways coming into today. 25 interceptions for this defense now. On the year, Trevor Asher gets the call on first down. Keep pushing the pile past midfield. It's going to end up being about an 8-yard pickup. It looks like it could have been stopped for about a 3 or 4-yard pickup, Derek.
Yeah, really good job by just turning the feet there by Trevor Asher. He's a big, strong kid.
6'2", 212 sophomore. Plenty of college football ahead of him. Second and short, gets the call again. It's a first down and a little bit more. Again, he lowers the shoulders, finishes off the run before he's brought down in the secondary by Dieter.
Yeah, and if you're going to win football games here in December now, you have to be able to run the football, and the Falcons just trying to establish that run game now this drive.
Same formation. This time they fake the handoff. Here comes Johanic. Caleb gets away from it, still keeping his eyes down the field. And now he'll just throw it away, and they'll live to play another down. It'll be 2nd and 10. We see it for the first time. Really, that's the first time Peter Johanic's got pressure on Caleb Blaha.
Yeah, he's like we've talked about him a lot, obviously already, and deservedly so. He's very talented and one of the best in Wheaton history.
14 sacks, 23 tackles for loss for Peter Johanic, the senior from Chicago. 4 receivers and a tight end in the formation on 2nd and 10. Caleb to throw. Stepping up, plenty of time. Now he's going to take off with his feet. Some space out in front. He ducks to the sideline. It's going to end up only being about a 3-yard pickup. Dieter did a nice job getting him to the sideline.
Yeah, really good angle. You don't see Caleb get out-angled like that, and very often. Really, really good job of pursuit there by the Wheaton defense.
So 3rd and 7. They're trying to get to the Thunder 32-yard line.
Got man coverage down here.
Just a rifle from Caleb Blaha. Nice sliding catch from Ben Weslowski. It's another Falcon first down.
Yeah, once again we're seeing man coverage when there's 3-by-1, and both teams have seen it, and both teams will continue to go after that.
Quickly up to the line again. Asher looking for space, patiently waiting for blockers, and again the pile continues to fall forward. It'll be a gain of about 5 on the first down carry.
Both teams now kind of having some success. We got an injured Falcon running off here.
Yeah. One of the offensive linemen looked like left guard Peyton Kopp. He's replaced by Blake Ramlett, the freshman from Cambridge, Minnesota. Quickly checks in. The Falcons don't miss a beat. 2nd and 6. We're inside 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. All even at 7 apiece. Low snap. Caleb handles it over the middle. Got his man inside the 10. It's Blake Rohrer. Who else? 1st and goal, River Falls at the 8.
Yeah, that was good patience there by Caleb Blaha. They're looking for the second slant window because Wheaton did change up the defense. They were looking to rob that first slant window. A nice job there finding the second one.
Quickly going for it here on 1st and goal. Asher, no space to the outside. He's going to end up losing about 2 or 3 yards. Wheaton did a nice job with the initial penetration up front, forcing a 2nd and goal.
Yeah, nice job there. Good response by the Wheaton defense.
As again, it's Leathers and Downing blowing that one up. 2nd and goal from the 11-yard line.
Undersized, but very physical.
Caleb rolling. Goes back the other way. Touchdown, River Falls. It's Austin Rush. 2nd touchdown of the day for Caleb Blaha. River Falls back on top.
Really good play design there. They faked the rollout left, and really good patience and route by one of his favorite targets, Austin Rush. Just kind of fake rollout left. He sits on it and comes back the other way against the grain, and not a play you see often, but well-designed play by offensive coordinator Joe Matheson.
The team's leader in receiving touchdowns, Austin Rush, with his 8th touchdown of the season via Caleb Blaha. Extra point from Shebrel after the high snap. Still able to kick it through, and it is a 7-point game again for the home team. 14-7, the advantage. River Falls on top on the arm of Caleb Blaha's 33rd passing touchdown of the year.
we're starting to see both quarterbacks and both offenses kind of wake up a little bit here, and maybe they're heating up a little bit in the cold.
I was going to say, blood finally starting to flow a little bit. Maybe you can start to feel your fingers after you've run around long enough here in the 1 degree. I believe 2 was the high here this afternoon in western Wisconsin. A little bit of a breeze. It's chilly, to say the least, Derek Staley.
To say the least, and it's as the sun, we'll see how long this game goes, but the sun will start to go down here in an hour or so, or an hour and a half, and it'll start to get real cold, if it's not already.
River Falls ranked number 3, Wheaton number 19 in the final D3Football.com rankings at the end of the regular season. And both teams have shown why they were ranked so highly at the end of the season. Wheaton with 2 impressive losses. They come into today at 11-2 overall. River Falls 11-1. Wheaton's only 2 losses to North Central and Mount Union. River Falls lost way back in early October to UW Oshkosh. Chevrolet's got it teed up. His kick is on the way. It's a low spiraling kick taken at about the 12-yard line. Far side of the field with some space, crossing the 40, far sideline into Falcon territory and all the way down to the 40-yard line. Seth Kortenhoven, a long kick return on that far side. Sprung early, and again, excellent field position for Wheaton College.
Yeah, what you saw there, it's hard to kick right now. That was a line drive kick, which is not what you want. You saw the first kickoff of the game kind of hung up there. It was a really good kick, which gave the kickoff team time to get down there. That one was a line drive, which is not what you want to see from your kicker.
They will start at the Falcon 39-yard line. Turnover, our only turnover of the day on the last possession for Cucci was picked off by Braden Jones. Kortenhoven goes in motion on 1st and 10. They'll swing it to him right away. Susner got through the block, but he missed the tackle. Kortenhoven with some space, crossing the 30-yard line, right near the first down marker.
I think that's both times they've gone trips with him to the near, or to the closest to the quarterback, excuse me. They've run the bubble to him. So they're really trying to find different ways and move him around to get him the ball in different spots.
2nd and less than a yard. Kreider, the tailback. Again, that 3-receiver set. Kreider will shift to the left. They give it to him, hit right at the line of scrimmage, and I think he's going to be short. This will make it a 3rd down now, and very short for Wheaton.
Oh, that was a big time play up front there by big Jack Olson. To shed the block, the Prescott, Wisconsin native.
Yeah, right down the road, the senior. It's been big time for the Falcons, as have so many.
Now they'll bring both big boys in, big tight ends.
Yeah, Juska and Howard both in the formation, 1 to each side. Juska will shift to the left. 3rd and short, and a whistle and a stoppage, and I believe, timeout Wheaton College.
2nd, 3rd, and 1 that they've used the timeout, so they didn't like something they saw there, clearly.
Yep. So just 1 timeout remaining for the Thunder. River Falls, all 3 of their timeouts in their back pocket still, with 7:42 to go. Haven't talked about the 2 head coaches yet, really, in at least not to an extent. Jesse Scott in his 6th year, leading the Wheaton College program, and their 6th straight NCAA playoff tournament appearance. River Falls with head coach Matt Walker in his 15th season, their first NCAA playoff appearance. Both head coaches doing an excellent job leading their programs. 4th straight winning season, by the way, for the River Falls team.
Yeah, both coaches that came in very different situations. Wheaton's had a lot of success down there, and Coach took over for a long tenured coach. Was there for 24 years, took over a very good program. Coach Walker took over a program that was in a different spot. And he's done. It's been a long turnaround to get where he is now, or where his staff and his team is now. And both great coaches clearly have done a really good job. And Coach Walker in his presser this year earlier this week was very complimentary of this Wheaton football team.
Big spot here, 3rd and short. Wheaton again with that heavy formation on 3rd and less than a yard. Titherington in motion, handoff Kreider up the middle. He's got the 1st down. Move those sticks down to the 26-yard line. Nussbaum and Tim combined for the tackle, but plenty of space there for Kreider.
We've seen, yeah, I've seen Kreider has a very, very good job on the ground so far today. Very good yards per carry. First half was 6. I'm still waiting for my my stats to update a little bit here on the second quarter. Excuse me.
Forcucci straight drop on first down. Rolls to his right. Plenty of time to throw, and he just throws it out of bounds in the area of Seth Kortenhoven, but clearly a throwaway, making it 2nd and 10 Falcons with an excellent job in coverage.
Very good job in coverage. They tried 2 double moves. One was an out and up by where you saw the ball go, but they tried a kind of a slant and go in the middle of the field also.
Kortenhoven, Titherington, the 2 receivers to the near side. Heavy formation. Handoff, Kreider. Not much there. Gage, Tim, no surprise. Team's leading tackler makes the stop. He was helped by Riley Ashburn. It's 3rd and 9.
Really one of the few times we've seen as a Falcon.
Yeah, Cody Curtis coming off the field a little hobbled, favoring that leg.
First time we've seen Kreider come off the field.
Yeah. Malachi Jones will check in at tailback. Falcons now with some mass substitutions. Pass rushing unit on the field on 3rd and 9. Jones, the tailback with Forcucci. Kortenhoven in motion. Juska, the tight end. Good snap. Play action. Boss is tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's incomplete. Couldn't quite see who got their hand on it, but it'll be 4th down.
It was honestly a little bit, might have been unfortunate for the Falcons that was tipped. That was very good coverage. They tried a little bit of a pivot route, which with Kortenhoven over there, which means he kind of faked an out route and back to the slant. Very good coverage.
It appears, at least for the moment, they're going to go for it on 4th and 9 from the Falcon 25-yard line.
Showing a lot of pressure here are the Falcons, and showing man coverage. My guess is they'll drop out of that.
Juska shifts to an H-back spot. Jones will go to the slot. It's a 4-receiver set. Forcucci by himself. Play clock down to 0, and there's the delay of game flag.
I think Wheaton did not like the look that they were getting from the Falcons. They were showing heavy pressure and man coverage. And now they're going to keep the offense on the field. 4th and 15. Kind of a no man's land here.
Right, you feel bad if you had to punt it from this spot, but you don't trust your kicker really going into the wind after he missed a 45-yarder with the wind earlier.
Yeah, just tough to kick in these conditions.
3 receivers. Again, Juska, the tight end, he'll be to the right. Now he shifts out into a slot. Malachi Jones, the tailback, next to Forcucci. It's 4th and 14. They roll the pocket out to the right, throwing that direction. Got his man, but he's short of the marker. It'll be a turnover on downs. Falcons with an excellent job on 4th and 14.
They stayed in that blitz look, which I was a little surprised about, and they just stayed in man coverage. Very aggressive call, but ultimately a good call by the Falcons.
And really, I don't know if we should be surprised. That's kind of been their MO most of the season.
That is true. I'm also surprised they had man coverage here on this near side with Kortenhoven, and they rolled out the other way.
Falcons up 7. They forced the turnover on downs. They stopped Kortenhoven short on 4th down. Offense back on the field. Caleb to throw on 1st down. He's got Reifenberger right at the sticks near the 30-yard line. Takes a big shot, but they're going to give him enough for a 1st down. Falcons move the sticks right away. We're down to 6 minutes to go in the opening half.
Good 1st down pitch and catch there.
Caleb over 150 passing yards here in this first half. 166 now after that last completion.
It's good to get Reifenberger involved. We haven't seen him yet.
Handoff Asher with some space. A lot of room off that left side. And again, a physical run from Trevor Asher results in a 7-yard pickup before he's brought down from the backside by Maxton Leathers.
I'd expect to see a heavy dose of him here the rest of this game. He's done a nice job, as is the offensive line so far today.
2nd and 3. Caleb claps the hands. They go Asher again off the left side. Dives ahead, and this time he's got enough for a 1st down, a 4-yard pickup after he was taken down by Torty and Zeke Harris.
You know, something that we haven't seen that we saw a lot last week is Caleb Blaha just running. I think we saw 1 QB power so far today.
This time they send Asher in motion. They fake the snap. Play clock inside of 20. They'll regroup, look to the sideline. Reifenberger, Stokes, and Hilton are the three receivers. And for the first time today, we'll see Ashton Quaddy. Oh, for a second, I thought we were going to see Ashton Quaddy.
He's still in. He's split out here.
Joe Matheson, the offensive coordinator, faking me out. 1st and 10, Caleb to throw. Looking left. Going that way, got his man. Going to be a minimal gain to Reifenberger before he's wrestled down on that far side by Chandler Bryant, the freshman from Allen, Texas. His first tackle of the day. It's 2nd and 7.
He's looking for Stokes, I think, for a little bit of a deep shot, but just makes a good decision to hit the check down and good successful first down there.
Quickly back up to the line. They'll swing it to Stokes this time, looking for a blocker. Never really fully developed, but he does pick up about 3 on the play, so it'll be 3rd and manageable here for the Falcons.
See if they stick with this personnel or if they change it up here in 3rd and medium.
Stokes and Hilton to the near side. Quaddy, the tailback, next to Caleb Blaha on 3rd and 3. And again, they'll look to the sideline.
Last time they did a whole personnel change on 3rd and medium.
Play clock down to 10. They snap it on 3rd and 3. Quaddy gets the carry. Nothing there. Hit right near the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the play. And we'll see if they want to go for it here on 4th down near midfield.
Decision time here.
And
this would be a very aggressive call if you go for it here.
It's a full 2 yards, maybe even 3 yards here on 4th down.
Might see the old try to draw them off sides and then punt it, but you never know with this aggressive Falcons team.
Empty for Blaha. They are going to run a play. He's going to take off with his legs. He's got the first down, dives ahead to the 48-yard line. The All-American moving the sticks for his club.
And you see why I'm calling calling over the headset here, not Joe Matheson. We haven't seen Caleb run it too much yet, but they dial him up here on a big 4th down play.
Right back up to the line. Looking to take a shot on 1st down. Under pressure, throws it high. Oh, nearly a great catch from Daniel Stokes. But I think he was just trying to play a little defense, keep it away from the secondary there. It'll be 2nd and 10.
A little bit of a scary floating throw there by Caleb Blaha. We saw him complete a big one just like that against St. John's last week early in the game. Little floater.
Never good when you see a guy throw off his back foot over the middle of the field, though.
It's a little scary.
Even if he is an All-American.
If you're a Packer or Vikings fan, he brings back some haunting memories, maybe. Of the same guy.
Yeah, old number 4. 2nd and 10 from the Thunder 48-yard line. Caleb, straight drop. They go with a screen to Johnstone. Read beautifully by the Wheaton defense. However, Adams able to push the pile forward and still get about 6 yards out of that. 25, Caleb Coburn was right there to make the stop, but Johnstone, the bigger body, able to win the day.
Yeah, that was a busted play that got 6 yards.
6'5", 250, pushing the pile on down to a 3rd and 4. Quick hitter, Weslowski, great catch. He takes a shot from Coburn, but he's able to hang on. And again, it's a 1st down. What a catch.
What a catch, and that does not feel good.
Yeah, not today. 2nd catch of the day for Weslowski. He's had to make a couple of acrobatic ones as we're down to the 2-minute timeout. Falcons driving into Thunder territory, but 2 really nice catches. Weslowski made the sliding one for a 1st down earlier, and then he gets cracked in the side of the head on that one.
Yeah, that guy's just a football player. You
played some quarterback last week?
Yeah, he just kind of goes where you need him. He's played some special teams. He's played some quarterback. He's a big-time special teams player, as you mentioned last week. So he's just going to go out there and try to make plays. He's a football player.
So the spot we're in at the moment, River Falls up 14-7 with 3 timeouts in their pocket at the moment with the ball in Thunder territory. This is a crucial spot for this Wheaton team to try to not go down 2 scores before halftime.
Yeah, you're really just trying to get a stop here any way you can, obviously, and you get the ball coming out of half because River Falls did elect to receive. So really, if you get a stop here, no harm done.
Right.
You get the ball with a chance to tie the game coming out of halftime.
Right now, 66 rushing yards for River Falls, 173 via the arm of one Caleb Blaha. So a little over 230 yards of offense. River Falls coming in as the #1 offense in the country, averaging 563 yards per game. A little bit off that pace so far, but they do have it here at the Thunder 36-yard line with a first down. Jalen Reed will be the tailback. Rush, Weslowski, and Rohrer are the 3 receivers.
Overload situation here. Probably going to run this ball.
Going to throw, rolls to the right. Here comes Johannick applying pressure, and Caleb again will have to just throw it away, making it 2nd and 10. Nothing there. Live to play another one. Stop the clock.
Yeah, so they went with the little overload, so meaning there was no eligible receiver on this side. On the flip side, there was one less eligible receiver on the other side, but tried to catch him napping a little bit.
1-on-1, Reed in motion. Caleb rolling to his left, clean pocket, back to his right. Oh, a lot of contact early, no flag. Weslowski looking around. He got harassed from behind before the football arrived, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, definitely from our vantage point here, partner, it looked like they got there early, but
Falcons right back up to the line. No time to argue when you're trying to run 85 plays in an afternoon.
The home crowd definitely agrees with your assessment.
Same formation. Caleb again with plenty of time to throw, rolls to his right, looking, got his man Austin Rush inside the 15. Really nice adjustment midair by Austin Rush to come back to the football and make the catch.
Yeah, I think that was intended for Weslowski, and Weslowski kind of got caught with his hips the wrong direction, and Austin Rush just makes a play.
Falcons in the red zone again, inside the 15-yard line.
Conditions are probably opposite of what Austin Rush is used to in Yuma, Arizona, but
yeah,
been up here long enough.
Yeah, after the last couple of weekends, I feel like everybody's kind of used to it at this point. Asher shifts to the right of Caleb Blaha. They give it to him on 1st and 10, excuse me. Off left tackle, runs right into a pile of Wheaton defenders. Johannick, Downing, and Kroger all in on the stop. Maybe a yard on the play.
Really good, nice job of stretching that outside zone by the Wheaton defense, and really flying to the football, as we've talked about that they're apt to do all season.
Inside of a minute to go, first half. Caleb to throw. Still looking, keeping his eyes down the field nicely. A pressure coming. Got his man Rohrer inside the 5. What a catch again by these Falcon receivers on a day when we're playing in what feels like sub-zero temperatures. Falcon receivers continue to make big plays for their quarterback.
That is what you call a heavily contested catch, and really good hands catch by Blake Rohr. And
1st and goal, handoff, Asher into the end zone, touchdown River Falls. 2-score game.
Big time catch by Blake Rohr on near the goal line, and then the Falcons punch it in with Trevor Asher. Really good, important drive going into halftime for the Falcons.
Trevor Asher's 7th rushing touchdown of the season for the sophomore from right down the road in Elmwood, Wisconsin. Falcons extend it to a 2-score game for the first time today. Chevrolet on again for the extra point. Good clean operation. This one's blocked. Extra point is blocked, and it'll be just the 2nd missed extra point of the season for Justin Chevrolet, who is the school's all-time leader in made point after touchdowns. But not to be on that one. It remains at 20-7 with just 37 seconds to go in the first half.
Looked like a good snap and a decent hold. The ball just came out really low. It's like kicking a rock right now. It's so cold. But with that big response there by a big time drive there by the Falcon offense, big 4th down conversion at midfield, which is a pretty big gamble, and you just get the ball in the hands of your playmaker quarterback, and you just punch it in from there. Big drive for the Falcons, and we'll get to see this kickoff unit who struggled last time. If you're Wheaton, you're looking for another nice return, and maybe you can set yourself up for a score here before the half.
Yeah, that would be really nice for the Wheaton Thunder with just 1 timeout remaining here in the first half, getting the ball, as my partner Derek Staley just said, coming out of halftime. If you're able to somehow put points on the board, you feel really good about your situation going into the locker room.
Yeah, it's just you're kind of, they call it going for the 2-for-1
yep.
here. Score right before half, and then right out of half.
Chevrolet's got it teed up, ready to go. This time it'll be an end-over-end kick, a little bit higher than last time, taken at the 15. They fake the reverse. And he will be stopped shy of the 30-yard line. Return man was Kenny Jager, the freshman from Tinley Park, Illinois. A lot shorter than the last one. Clock down to 30 seconds now. Thunder with about 71 yards of field to go.
Yeah, it was a much better kick. That kick kind of higher and allowed your coverage team to get down there and make a play.
So from their own 29-yard line, we'll see how they decide to go about this last 30 seconds. They are going to open up in the shotgun. And a 5-receiver set here for Mark Forcucci. Kortenhoven in motion. Straight drop. Over the middle, tipped. Oh, that was dangerous. One of the D linemen got their paws on that one, and that seemed to hang up in the air for a long time. It falls harmlessly to the turf, making it 2nd and 10. That could have been disastrous for Wheaton.
Yes, it could have been. He's looking for the crossing route. Intermediate kind of 6-yard crosser. Good coverage there, but he had a step. If I'm the Falcons, I'm double covering here on this near side.
2nd and 10 with 24 seconds to go in the first half. Again, a 4-receiver set. Malachi Jones, the tailback with Forcucci. Straight drop, clean pocket, over the middle of the field. Wide open target, crossing midfield, and then being pushed out of bounds was Jewett. Just his 2nd catch of the day. They're into Falcon territory with the clock stopped at 10 seconds. Oh, now the clock continues to run. That needed to be stopped. He went out of bounds.
Yeah, he did. I think that was Pierre Ledoux. Kind of.
Now it stops at 9 seconds. They're going to have to talk this one over.
Yep. Sure, that's what they're discussing on the far sideline there.
Again, here's the call. So Wheaton actually calls timeout. Apparently they were going to run the clock. So it did get down to 9 seconds, and Coach Jesse Scott has to use his final timeout. So maybe forward progress was stopped before he got pushed out?
Or is that if you go out of bounds going backwards?
Oh, true. I didn't even think about that. He did go backwards. Good call, partner. Derek Staley with expert analysis here this afternoon.
And for those of you at home, if you go out of bounds on your own accord going backwards, it's like you didn't go out of bounds. It's like the forward progress was stopped and the clock will run.
So they do put 12 seconds back up on the game clock now. So no timeouts remaining for Wheaton. Ball in Falcon territory, spotted at the 46. So they will have no timeouts remaining. River Falls has all 3 of their own timeouts remaining. And I was just informed, since we have a minute to talk about it, I was just informed with that last pass and catch on the previous drive, that connection from Caleb Blaha to Blake Rohr. Caleb has now eclipsed 10,000 passing yards in his River Falls career.
Just when you think there's not any more milestones for him to cross, there's just that's crazy.
Unbelievable number. 10,000 passing yards in a college football career for Caleb Blaha. And more to come. They lead at 20-7. 12 seconds to go, first half.
See 2 man under, 2 deep safeties, and just man coverage across the board.
Straight drop, again clean pocket for Forcucci. A lot of time coming off. Again going for Jewett, but it's incomplete. Oh, and hell, super late flag from way back in the secondary. It's going to give Wheaton a free first down, but just 6 seconds here.
And we are neutral callers here. We try to be. We saw one, as we got the call here, pass interference clearly, but saw kind of one where we thought Wazlowski should have been rewarded on the Falcon side, and we see a little bit of a questionable one there where Ledoux was penalized.
Again, the officiating crew from just across the river in the MIAC, and now River Falls is going to use one of their 3 timeouts with just 6 seconds to go.
So 6 seconds, you have time to throw one near the sideline if you want to maybe think about getting in a little bit closer field goal range. You're probably thinking you need to go based on what you've seen. You got to get to the 20. So if you think about a deep out route, that 6 seconds is enough time to get that and get out of bounds. That's maybe what the Falcons are talking about here. Maybe taking away the sideline.
Final game of the day in the D3 football quarterfinals. From River Falls, Wisconsin, Zach Barsh and Derek Staley bringing you all the action here this afternoon. 6 seconds to go in this first half. Defensive coordinator Jake Wissing. Opportunity to talk to his defense and how they want to operate here, trying to keep Wheaton off the scoreboard as the Thunder will get the football first to start the second half.
And the question here is, if you're Wheaton, are you thinking about taking a shot or thinking about taking a field goal?
Right.
You have a great quarterback. He throws down the middle of the field very well. They do like to throw post routes. So maybe that little cover 2 beater post is what you're thinking, or just get the ball 10 yards and try to kick a field goal.
2 safeties for River Falls, about 15 yards deep. Forcucci quick to the outside, got his man. It's Juska, the tight end.
Just in time.
Yep, going to be about a 9-yard pickup and exactly 1 second left here in this first half. And I would think they're going to try a field goal. Maybe not. Forcucci stays out there along with the offense.
And then River Falls, there's kind of late substitution there.
Yeah, Jared Schultz comes in at safety, and now they're going to use a timeout.
Yeah, no reason to not take that timeout for late sub, and you're trying to still communicate coverages on the back end, so good timeout there.
So both teams with an opportunity to talk this one over, and maybe for Jesse Scott, rethink whether or not he wants to try a field goal here.
Yeah, kind of kicking into the wind. It doesn't. It's kind of steady.
Yeah. A little bit more of I would call it a little bit more of a swirling wind now, where it was kind of a straight line north to south earlier. Still at 1 degree, like we were at kickoff. Wind chill, according to my iPhone, says we're at about 11 below for the wind chill.
And it's only going to get colder. We've already reached the high for the day, and now we're on the downward end. Yeah,
some of the shadows of the press box starting to creep onto the field here.
Lights are on.
Feels like Wisconsin in early December here this afternoon.
It feels like February. It's cold. We do have to. Partner made us open the windows here, so we're experiencing the elements.
Not quite as bad. Yeah, not quite as bad as they are. We do have a heater in here.
Correct. Yeah, I shouldn't complain too much.
So it'll be second and short, but this should be the last play of the first half. Forcucci, play action. Hit from behind, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. Susner crosses the 20, laterals it back to Schultz, and now it's going to be out of bounds. So no chance for another play for the Falcon offense, but they do their job. They hold the Wheaton Thunder out of the end zone on the last play of the first half. Second turnover for this Falcon defense they force here this afternoon, and they head to the locker room up 2 scores, 20-7.
Yeah, that made me a little nervous there. They were trying to lateral the ball there after the pick, and you never know what's going to happen there. That was a freshman trying to make a play. Big time coverage, first of all, by him, and a nice play, but got me a little scared there at the end.
So no surprise, Wheaton takes a shot at the end zone. River Falls picks off Mark Forcucci for the 2nd time today. Wheaton Thunder will get the ball to start the second half, but they trail it by 2 scores, 20-7 the score from River Falls, Wisconsin. Once again, Zach Barsh and Derek Staley on the call here this afternoon in the quarterfinal round of the D3 football playoffs. We'll step aside. You're watching Division III football on ESPN.
It comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people who are like-minded and so hardworking in this sport and academic.
makes our score 20-7. Daly, was a fun first half. River Falls started to kind of grasp the football game in that second half, but Wheaton gets the ball first to start the second.
Yeah, this will be a big first drive for Wheaton that you have to answer. River Falls offense clearly woke up, like you said there in the second quarter. They're on pace for their average. 287 yards in the first half versus 155, as you said.
Yeah.
For Wheaton, Wheaton offense stymied a little bit there by the Falcon defense, who has had a great second half of the season and playoffs.
So for Wheaton to not only get back into this one, but potentially win it here in the second half, what do they need to do offensively?
Well, go with what's working. They're running the ball with Kreider pretty well. 5 yards a carry is pretty solid. So keep establishing that run game. Even though you are down 2 scores, you have plenty of time to get the ball. So keep running the football when you can. And Kortenhoven, the RPO stuff to Kortenhoven, the River Falls did do some different things defensively to try to take him away, but you are still getting some man coverage when he is by himself. So he had a nice first half, 57 yards on 6 catches and 13 targets. So keep going back to him.
Yeah, for Cucci, a decent first half, minus the 2 interceptions. He finishes with 113 yards in that first half. Conversely, on the other side of the football, they're really, you talk about it, right? River Falls, 287 yards of offense in that first half, on pace for their average of 563, which leads all of America. And so you're really not going to be able to stop the River Falls offense, or at least you really can't kind of hang your hat on stopping the River Falls defense. But what can you do to try to limit it? You probably got to take some chances to try to get some turnovers.
Yeah, you probably got to bring some pressure, play a little bit more man coverage, which is scary against these River Falls receivers and this prolific offense. But if you don't score kind of coming out of halftime, and you're down 2 scores, you got to start taking some chances, bringing some pressure, bringing some blitzes. Offensive line of River Falls has done a nice job of holding up against those good defensive ends for Wheaton College. But yeah, at some point you got to start taking some chances, especially if you don't score coming out here.
I really thought in that first half both teams did an excellent job managing the weather factor here today. We're sitting still at about 1 degree actual temperature. Real feel is somewhere around -10. But we're starting to see the shadows start to creep on, especially the north side of the field, and should be fully covered in shade by the end of this one here this afternoon. Do you think the weather starts to play a factor at some point?
It starts to wear on you, especially if you are maybe down a couple scores.
Right.
That can be a factor. You break at some point, because no doubt about it, it is tough. It is tough to play in these conditions. And do you break at some point?
Right.
And do your hands just stop working?
Right, exactly. The ball feels like a rock.
Like you said, the receivers and quarterbacks have done a nice job of catching the ball and throwing the ball, which is pretty surprising to me. I don't know if my hands would work at this point, but they've done a great job.
Well, we started to see droves of fans start to come back into the stadium here at halftime. Clearly went to the bathroom, went out to their vehicle, went wherever they could try to find some warm air to try to warm up a little bit here at halftime. 15 minutes back on the game clock. River Falls will be kicking north to south. The Wheaton Thunder will be receiving to open the second half here from River Falls, Wisconsin. Final game of the day, Division III football quarterfinals. The winner of this one going on to take on Johns Hopkins next week in the national semifinal for a spot in the national championship game. Shebrel's got it teed up. 2 receivers back deep to receive, Jager and Kenyon for the Thunder. And Shebrel's start to the second half is end over end and will be fielded by Jager at about the 13-yard line. Cuts it to the middle of the field with some space. Oh, and then a big hit. Gage Tim on kickoff coverage this time. Lays the wood, and Wheaton starts abruptly at their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, there's the All-American on kickoff team.
And he is fired up after that hit, too.
That doesn't feel good getting hit like that.
Emphatic from Gage Tim, the team's leading tackler coming into today. Second team All-American, like Derek mentioned. WIAC Defensive Player of the Year, Gage Tim. Forcucci in this offense for the first time in the second half in a 2-receiver set. Sticking with that run game. Kreider right up the middle, lots of space into the secondary, and he's going to pick up about 11 yards on his first carry of this second half. He finished the first half with 41 yards on 8 carries, so a little over 5 yards a pop. Good start to the second.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. He's a good back. He runs north and south, decent pad level. He's not short, but he plays with pretty good pad level. Nice job up front there on the first play by the O-line.
Big man Howard in at H-back for Cucci, straight chop. They're going to swing it to Howard. Lots of space out in front, makes a man miss. I think the corner there, that was
Braden Jones.
Yeah, Braden Jones got just enough of Howard's ankle to slow him down and able to finish off that tackle. But another first down, consecutive first downs for Wheaton to start this drive.
As a corner who's been out there trying to tackle a fullback, that's not the most fun thing.
Yeah.
So good job by Braden Jones just getting him down some way.
Yeah, we talked about Howard's frame earlier, but 5'10", 226, and plays every bit of that. He's in motion here. They hand it off to Kreider, off right tackle. Again, some space. Ashburn was trying to get off a blocker. He could not. Finally roped down by Nussbaum, but another pickup of 5. Wheaton, nice job here on these first few plays.
Outside pin pull concept up front. Just trying to pull the guard to get out front, or pull the uncovered lineman to get out front. Nice first down play there by Wheaton.
A little bit more spread out this time. 3 receivers. Juska, the tight end, will be in the slot. For Cucci from the shotgun. We've seen him go under center a couple of times today. Juska will slide in to the formation. 2nd and 5. Fake the handoff. They're going play action. Going to take a shot. Looking for Titherington. He's got him. Wide open inside the 10. Touchdown, Wheaton Thunder. You talked about it. It's a different guy, but you said, Derek Staley, they had to take some shots here in the second half. They do, and they connect with Titherington for the touchdown.
Yeah, like we talked about all the way back in pregame, the play action pass for Wheaton has been their weapon. Really good job of patience and selling a good fake, and clearly a very good route on the outside. He had a couple steps wide open.
8th receiving touchdown of the year for Caleb Titherington. Came in with a little over 730 receiving yards on the year. He adds to that total. Big touchdown for the Wheaton Thunder. They move the football right down the field. Extra point is good, and it is a 1-score game. 20-14 now the advantage for the River Falls Falcons, but these Wheaton Thunder right back into the football game.
Yeah, it's the national quarterfinals. They're not going away. Great response for Wheaton. Ideal start. You got the run game going a little bit again. Nice first down runs on both first downs there, and then you get the play which set up the play action pass. With the big time shot for Titherington for the touchdown.
First passing touchdown of the day for Mark Cucci. That is his 36th passing touchdown of the season. Excuse me. He ran in their first one, so he's got 2 total on the day now. For the first team All-Region quarterback Mark Cucci. 2 Gallardi Trophy semifinalists in action here this afternoon in Wisconsin. Both quarterbacks, Caleb Blaha and Mark Cucci, being named to that Gallardi semifinalist award watch list earlier this week. Now Wheaton will have a chance to kick off. Mateo Jesh, a senior kicker from Fishers, Indiana, who missed that 45-yard field goal attempt in the first half. Going to kick this one away to Daniel Stokes and Jalen Reed. Into the wind, and the ball came off the tee. You can start to see people's breaths out there. It is cold. And that shadow starts to loom over the field with each passing minute. And again, the ball comes off the tee, so somebody might have to hold it here.
Someone will have to hold it, which is also not the most fun thing, but you trust your kicker, a college kicker. He's not going to miss the ball.
So number 9, Zach Schlomer, backup DB, will be the one holding the football for Jesh. Just 2 minutes into this second half, not even 2 minutes into this second half, Wheaton scores a long touchdown for Cucci to Titherington, and it's 20-13. Or 20-14, excuse me. Falcons going to get the football back. End over end kick from Jesh, taken by Stokes at the 11. Up the far side of the field, crosses back to the hash with some space, crossing the 35. Still rolling out to the 40-yard line before he's taken down by a couple of Wheaton coverage men, but Stokes with a little bit of extracurriculars. And the Falcons in good field position.
Yeah, there were some pads popping there on that kick return, and great job by the Falcons to set their offense up in great field position.
40-yard line is where they begin. Caleb Blaha with his 220 passing yards in the first half. Will open in an empty set and 4 receivers. Johnstone, the tight end. One-on-one to the near side, but they go over the middle, and a little bit of a miscommunication was intended for Weslowski, but Caleb threw it behind him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was a good play. He was it just got hung up a little bit. Weslowski was going to come open there on that slant route. They did roll 2 guys over to Blake Rohr.
And Blake goes to the far side of the field this time. It's still one-on-one to the bottom. Weslowski is the lone receiver.
I think this near side safety's kind of peeking over here. So that means they have good numbers in the box to run the football here.
Trevor Asher's in the slot. Caleb with plenty of time to throw, looking left, goes that way. He's got Rohr right near midfield. He's going to be short of the sticks before he's wrestled to the ground. It'll be 3rd and 2.
This is
Colin Moore and Mason Haas combined for the stop.
This is probably 4-down territory for the Falcons.
Just shy of midfield. Handoff, Asher right up the gut, right into a pile of defenders, maybe a yard, and he is going to be short. But like you said, partner, this is probably go for it territory. It's been their MO all season, and really the last handful of seasons ever since Joe Matheson has taken over play calling duties.
And this is Caleb Blaha run territory also.
Less than a yard on 4th down. Falcons up a score. They throw it out quickly, looking for a block. Rush, I think, has enough for a first down. It'll depend on the spot, and they give him enough. He does pick up the first down. It was an excellent tackle in space on that far sideline, but Rush dives ahead to pick it up.
Yeah, the experienced receiver goes right where those sticks are, makes the last second lunge to get the first down.
Same formation, Weslowski by himself. Caleb going to swing it to Asher underneath. Not much there. Again, really nice tackling in space by this Thunder defense. Limits it to about a 3-yard pickup.
What we're seeing is when Falcons go 3-by-1, the halftime adjustment for Wheaton has been no more single coverage on this single side here. So that means they're going to go to the trip side.
3 receivers in the sun on that far side. Caleb looking that way. Plenty of time.
Blake Rohr deep.
Now he's going to take off. Crosses the 45 on the near sideline. So he's going to pick up of about, get a pickup of about 3 yards to make it 3rd and about 4 here.
I thought he was going to take the deep shot to Blake Rohr. He also had Stephen Reifenberger kind of coming open late there too, but makes a good decision.
Trying to get to the 40-yard line. Asher moves to the left of Caleb Blaha. They give it to him. Got some space into the secondary. Asher still pumping those legs down inside the 30-yard line before he's driven down plenty to pick up that first down. Falcons move the sticks again.
Great inside zone concept for the Falcons, and even better job up front by those interior offensive linemen to open a nice hole.
Coburn and Tuflon combined for the stop. Fresh set of downs, Caleb to throw, looking to the right, going to take a shot, going for the end zone, looking for Austin. Rush had to come back to the football. It's incomplete. A lot of contact while Austin was in the air, trying to come back to the ball, but it'll fall for 2nd and 10.
Just a hair too late throwing that ball by Caleb. Austin won the route early. Slot fade's a tough one to cover, man coverage.
So 2nd and 10 now. Ball at the 28-yard line. Handoff Asher this time. Breaks off the first tackle and is hit hard from behind as he crosses the 25 down to about the 22-yard line. Chandler Bryant was the one to bring him down.
See the offensive line for the Falcons really winning the line of scrimmage right now.
3rd and short. Again, they go with Asher. And again, he breaks free into the secondary, stays on his feet. Asher into the end zone. Touchdown, River Falls. What a tough run for the 6'2 sophomore from Elmwood, Wisconsin, into the end zone for the 2nd time today.
They're going to go for 2 here, I believe. Extremely good individual effort there by Trevor Asher. Good balance. Something you work on in running back drills every day is those balance drills. Little counter concept inside. Great job by the interior offensive line one more time, and we'll see what we have drawn up for 2 here.
Yeah, you called it, trying to go up 14 with the 2-point conversion try. 9:48 to go. This will be an untimed down. And now we have a stoppage. So River Falls apparently has to use a timeout. I don't know if they didn't reset. Fans are upset because it's something with the play clock. I don't know if they didn't reset it either correctly or didn't reset it to their liking, or River Falls just took too much time. I was not paying close enough attention to that, but and Coach Matt Walker has to use his first timeout.
Yeah, not a time you want to use that timeout,
right,
clearly, but with an on-time down. There was definitely some confusion and a little slow getting on the field for the Falcons. In my head, I didn't notice anything wrong with the play clock. I thought they would be running down because it took them a while, but the crowd thought differently. And like you said, I wasn't necessarily paying the closest attention to that either. But
second rushing touchdown of the day for Trevor Asher. He's up to 8 on the season now. And now looks like they're set, ready to go. Weslowski, Rohrer, Johnstone, Rush, and Reed are going to be the skill guys on the field with Caleb Blaha for the 2-point try. Still looking to the sideline, trying to make sure they get this correct. Get set up how they want to.
Just got Weslowski just man coverage here.
Caleb by himself. They flip it to Reed on the reverse, trying to get to the outside, and they think he does. Oh, they're going to say he's just shy. He does not get the 2-point conversion. Reed pleading that he reached out the football and got over the line. Official right on top of it says no, he did not. So a 2-point conversion try is no good. It remains 26-14 in favor of River Falls.
Yeah, the ref has clearly a better angle than we do. We don't have a great angle for that up in the booth, but pretty good individual effort there by the cornerback, Joseph Bracey, kind of getting off the block and just doing enough to force him out of bounds there.
But how about the run from Trevor Asher to get the football in the end zone there?
Yeah, just great individual effort, like you said, just kind of breaking through tackles, and this is kind of the time when a guy like him maybe wins you a football game or takes over, because he's going to run downhill and punish people for trying to tackle him, and he's not a fun guy to bring down. Wheaton has a guy on the other side that a little bit different build, but another good back on the other side that runs hard and with good pad level. So we'll see if they continue to establish him, continue to get him going like they did on the first drive of the second half here, or if they think they have to start throwing the ball.
96 yards on the ground now for Trevor Asher. River Falls at 116 total rushing yards here. Caleb Blaha up to 231 passing yards. On the afternoon, Falcons back up 2 scores. It's just a 12-point lead though, 26-14, and both teams exchanging touchdowns just 5.5 minutes or so into this second half. Low end-over-end kick, taken at about the 15.
Hold.
Jagger, no flag thrown. Oh, late flag. Yeah, there's a couple of flags that come in. Returner Jagger is taken down across the 35-yard line.
It's Ashton Quaddy.
Yeah, the injured Falcon is Ashton Quaddy. There are 3 flags down on the field, and he does get up under his own power, which is good to see.
That was, he got horse collared, I think. Not only a hold, but I think it was a horse collar. We'll see what they call, but
trainers do attend to him as he heads towards the sideline. Tough break for him too, because we saw him miss a couple of games here this year with various injuries.
I do not know. It's not.
Couldn't quite hear the call.
Yeah, either way, penalty goes against Wheaton. So back them up. They'll start at their own 21-yard line instead of their own 36. So 15-yard loss of field position.
Saw a little frustration there from Wheaton, maybe.
Their team down 12, but they did drive right down the field on their opening drive of this half. Score touchdown on the connection from Forcucci to Titherington. They'll see if they can duplicate it. Howard goes in motion. Fake the handoff to Kreider. Forcucci, middle of the field. Got his man, Kortenhoven, who takes a shot, but he hangs on to the football. Crossing the 40. It'll be about a 20-yard pickup on the connection from Forcucci to Kortenhoven.
Yeah, that was obviously a big play, but it was lucky he didn't see Titherington streaking down the middle of the field, because he was wide open, and that would have been a touchdown.
Could have gone back-to-back. 2 receivers, heavy formation with 2 tight ends. Kreider still the tailback. Wheaton 1st and 10 from their own 42. Handoff Kreider right up the gut. Not a ton of space, but he's able to make do. Finishes it off for a 4 or 5 yard pickup.
It's been about his average so far today, which is very good. It's on 1st down.
Cody Curtis, Noah Nussbaum, and a couple others in on the stop for River Falls. Making it 2nd and 6. Howard comes off the field. They replace him with another receiver. Titherington goes in motion. Straight drop. Here comes the pressure. Nussbaum applying, and it's going to be a throwaway here for Forcucci. He saw Noah Nussbaum out of the corner of his eye, and it'll make it 3rd and 6.
Yeah, good coverage, man coverage there on the back end, and engaged him in man coverage with Kreider, which is the intended target. Good pressure provided, as you said, partner by Nussbaum, another local product.
3rd down and 6. Wheaton down 12. 8:23 to go here, 3rd quarter. Kreider moves to the outside. He's the lone, or not the lone receiver, but the outside receiver to the far side. Juska, the tight end, lined up at the H-back. Kreider coming back to the formation. Pressure coming again, but this time Forcucci completes it to Juska. Knew exactly where his outlet was, and he got just enough for a 1st down.
Good play design there. Haven't gone to him yet today. Good accurate pitch and catch. We saw guys in warm-ups definitely struggling to catch the ball a little bit, and we haven't seen it. Haven't seen it in the game. So good response there by Wheaton. Big situation.
Howard, the man in motion on 1st and 10. Handoff to Kreider. And a minimal gain on the 1st down carry.
Stopped by 56,
Connor McKenzie was just hanging on to Kreider for dear life, waiting for the rest of the troops to help on the stop. Pickup of about 3, 2nd and 7 here for Wheaton.
If you're Wheaton, that's the body blows you need to keep with and stay with. That run game really sets up your potent play action pass. You need to keep trying to run the football. Down 2 scores.
Thunder offense right on the edge of the shadows here at Raymer Field. Juska, the tight end, goes in motion. Straight drop for Forcucci.
The wheel route.
Back over the middle of the field. Goes that direction. He's got his man again. It's Titherington. And he is wrestled down by Braden Jones inside the 30-yard line.
Good pass protection up front there by the Wheaton O-line. And those deep crossers take a long time, and they've found 2 of them so far this drive. They found something at halftime with those deep crossers.
Correction, that was actually Peter Ledoux on the tackle for River Falls and the coverage. 2 receivers on 1st down. Jewett goes in motion this time. Again to throw. Again over the middle. This time underthrown. A lot of contact, but again, no flag by this MIAC officiating crew. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It's actually River Falls that was looking for the flag there. I don't know. I just saw 2 guys kind of slide down.
Yeah, right. Little throw, and they both went after the football. That's what I saw.
Yep. Saw Malachi Jones in there at running back with a really nice blitz pickup. Kreider comes back in here. Malachi Jones, I think, is more of the 3rd down back. Right. More comfortable with that blitz pickup possibly. Did a nice job there.
2 tight ends in at the moment as well. They do hand off to Kreider. Falcons right there to meet engaged him, the first one, along with Connor McKenzie and Noah Nussbaum. It'll be 3rd down and 8 after just a 2-yard gain.
Now, Kreider's been averaging, like we said, 5 yards a carry or so. Nice job finally there by the Falcon defense is holding them under that average.
Now the 3rd down pass rush comes in. Jared Schultz to play some safety. And some guys along that D-line. Andre Hall going to shift into man coverage in the slot.
Man coverage on the far side.
Man in motion for Forcucci. Here comes the pressure.
Screen.
Yep, they screened it to Jones with some space. Ashburn comes up to make the stop, and they do stop him shy of the 1st down marker, but it'll be close. They may go for it.
That could have been much bigger.
Yeah.
Riley Ashburn makes a nice play from his safety spot. They had that screen set up very well. And bring in the heavy package here, extra offensive lineman.
Big 4th down with about 5.5 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Wheaton trying to cut into this 2-score deficit.
A couple extra offensive linemen here. Old school football. River Falls calls a timeout.
Yep. Coach Walker and Jake Wissing did not like what they saw there. Yeah, saw an extra. It looks like 2 tight ends, an extra tackle, and then a guy wearing their normal left tackle, Aiden Kingsbury, was lined up as an H-back in the backfield there.
Yeah, they brought in Aiden Kingsbury, like you said, as an H-back. And Max Kingsbury as an extra tight end.
By the way, both couple of local kids just across the river, Roseville, Minnesota native, or Shoreview, Minnesota natives, I should say.
Both went to Concordia Academy up in Roseville.
Trying to put the hurt on their hometown team, sort of their hometown team. Bethel's probably their hometown team,
but
a
little closer.
Yeah.
Bethel, Northwestern are right around there.
Falcon defense, Wheaton offense had a chance to talk this one over. Just 1 timeout remaining all of a sudden for River Falls here in this 2nd half after they had to burn one before the 2-point try.
Same personnel grouping, it looks like. They had success in a similar type of package on an early short yard situation.
Now they shift. 3 tight ends in formation, extra offensive linemen. Pitch to Kreider on the outside. There comes Gage Tim. It'll depend on the spot, and he's short. River Falls stops him short. It's a turnover on downs. The All-American Gage Tim on the stop.
It's the national quarterfinals. Your All-Americans and your big-time players need to make big-time plays, and Gage Tim steps up. Beautifully read there for him.
Momentum shifting play there by that Falcon defense, and the Wheaton offense exits the field. They don't put up any points. It's a 2-score game. River Falls back on offense. Caleb Blaha with a 3-receiver set, and he sends Trevor Asher in motion. They fake the throw to him. RPO underneath to Stokes. Excellent catch. Right in traffic, close to the 30-yard line before he's pushed backwards. But we've been harping on it all day. Receivers doing an excellent job catching the football in this cold.
Yeah, 2 things. That was a tight window that Caleb Blaha just threw that into, and then that was an excellent hands catch by Stokes.
Daniel's first catch of the afternoon results in a 1st down. He got just enough before forward progress was stopped. Reifenberger to the outside on the near side. Hilton, the lone receiver, up top. They hand it off to Asher. Oh, tried to bounce it outside, but a really nice tackle right at the point of attack by Zeke Harris, their leading tackler. Stops it short, actually, for a 1-yard loss. It's 2nd and long.
Yeah, that was the other number 12, Wheaton's number 12 linebacker, who's also a great player.
Empty formation for Caleb Blaha on 2nd and 11, looking left. Now back to the middle, taking a shot, middle of the field, got Hilton, wide open, down to the 30. There goes Jake Hilton, touchdown River Falls.
Been waiting for him to kind of break out and take a shot to him downfield, put him in the slot and let him just run deep down the middle, and a perfect throw by Caleb Blaha.
The sophomore from Prescott, Arizona, in sub-zero temperatures, connects with Caleb Blaha. Longest touchdown of the day. River Falls up 3 scores.
Last 2 guys to make big catches, one from California and one from Arizona in sub-zero temperatures. So, cold is a state of mind. Doesn't matter where you're from.
Jake Hilton came into today with a little over 420 receiving yards on the season. That is his 5th receiving touchdown. Looks like we had early motion on the extra point, so Chevrolet will have to retry it. He did have, if you're just joining us, Justin Chevrolet did have an extra point blocked in the 1st half.
Which is why the Falcons went for 2 and had to burn a timeout earlier.
So add an extra 5 yards. It'll be like a 25-yard field goal now for Chevrolet for this extra point. Again, the long snapper, Brandon Betelov. The holder is Jake Barnard. Clean operation. Extra point from Chevrolet is up and through. Lead extended to 33-14 after the huge connection from Caleb Blaha to Jake Hilton. Caleb's 34th passing touchdown of the season, his 3rd here today. River Falls with a stranglehold on all the momentum and on this football game with just a little over 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter, Derek.
Yeah, this is obviously a big-time drive there by the Falcons and a big-time play. If you're on the Wheaton side, this is a must-score drive, I think. You're looking at 19 minutes or so left to play. Your 3-score game, 19-point game, I believe. It's always dangerous to do
trying to do math on that, especially when it's not like normal numbers that you're used to because of the extra points and the 2-point conversions today.
And it's not warm in here.
Right, that doesn't help
rain
either.
slows down a little bit, but 19-point game. Yeah, this is a must-score drive because you can't count on your defense. As good as your defense is, you're going against the best offense in the country. You're not necessarily going to stop them all the time,
right.
So you're down 3 scores. You might be thinking, man, I might need to score 4 times.
High end-over-end kick. It's going to be short. Fielded by Jager near the 20. And again, with a little bit of space on that far hash. Stays on his feet, crosses the 40. And he's finally knocked out of bounds near the 45-yard line. But really good field position again for Wheaton because of a decent kick return.
Yeah, that kick return unit has been really good for them so far today, and really good balance there by Jagger. I believe that is who had the return.
Kenny Jagger, the freshman from Tinsley Park, Illinois.
Yeah, really good balance and fight from him. You gotta start taking some shots here at some point.
Yeah, and they did on that first drive, and it paid off. The long touchdown from Forcucci to Titherington. Stopped short on 4th down, and that's really what kind of sparked that Falcon drive in my mind was the big stop from Gage Tim that gave the offense the ball back. Forcucci with a bullet, but it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
The Falcons rolling late and trying to disguise some coverage there. It looked like they were showing man coverage and almost some cover 0. Rolled into cover 3 late there.
And it looked like Carter Quam was the one that got his hands up, knocked that one down. 2nd and 10. Again, these Thunder rolling with 2 tight ends, Howard and Juska in formation, 2 receivers to the bottom. Kreider, the tailback. Ooh, high snap, handled nicely. Throw to the outside quickly to Kortenhoven, crosses midfield. And he ducks out of bounds in front of Peter Ledoux. Pickup of 7. It'll be 3rd and short.
It's a perfect route and a great throw there. You can just see the talent on the receivers and the quarterback.
Jewett comes on. Howard exits for this 3rd and short. Kreider in motion. Back to the formation. Here comes the pressure. Clefstead. Throw to the outside is incomplete. Ledoux in coverage. Forcucci with a great throw under pressure as he was hit hard by Clefstead, but there is a flag down.
I think the Falcons jumped. I saw a little bit of movement from Wheaton also. I'm surprised they did.
Yeah, good call. Offsides against River Falls. That's going to be a 1st down.
I'm surprised they didn't blow that dead. He got an advantage because of that, and the quarterback took a shot. Maybe they tried to blow it dead and the whistle froze. Who knows?
Yeah, the field completely covered in shadows now. Still, it says we've lost a couple of degrees. We're at -1 actual temperature. Wind chill sitting still at about 12 or 13 below. 3 minutes to go or so here in this 3rd quarter. Wheaton down by 19. Forcucci under center. Handoff to Kreider off left tackle. Hit hard by Gage Tim right at the line of scrimmage and then pushed backwards. Maybe got a half a yard. It'll be 2nd down.
That's perfect if you're the Falcons. Let them run the football. 1 yard gain. Keep the clock moving.
Kreider, Howard, and Juska all come off the field. This looks like it's going to be an empty formation for Mark Forcucci. Senior quarterback from Winfield, Illinois, transferred from Holy Cross University. Out to Juska on the bubble screen. Falcons trying to get off blocks. A lot of space to the outside, and he's finally pushed out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Tight end Ben Juska, just his 4th catch of this afternoon, and that's a big one for Wheaton into the red zone with 2.5 to go here in this 3rd quarter.
First down.
That wasn't Malachi Jones catching it out there, was it? 18-19, hard to, it's hard to tell a little bit, but either way, you saw a quads look, which I haven't seen a lot today, and a nice play design and better execution there.
2 running backs in the backfield with Forcucci. He's going to throw it. Pressure coming, ball wobbled, and nearly intercepted. Ashburn had an easy one in his hands, not able to hang on. It'll be 2nd and 10.
They were trying a little double move out and up there on the near side. It was covered up well by Trent Cherry.
Yeah, Forcucci got hit as he threw. That's what caused the wobbly ball. And I think Ashburn had visions of the end zone before he got that one into his grasp.
Yeah, he was gone if he caught that. There was no one there.
So 2nd and 10 with 2:06 to go now here in this 3rd quarter.
Showing pressure here.
Forcucci's going to shift to go under center. Juska, the tight end, moves to the right. Oh, and a flag comes in. Just about every official threw their flag. It was a bad snap, but they blew it dead before then. Oh, the center.
Flynn?
He faked the snap. That's probably what caused the bobble in the first place. Make it 2nd and 15. We'll go back to shotgun formation here on 2nd down. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Straight drop for Forcucci over the middle. And again, it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Just the D-line is taking over here.
Yeah. that time it was John Klefstead who got his hand on it. 3rd and 15.
That's the 3rd batted pass, or was it 4th batted pass?
Yeah.
That D-line for the Falcons. We got a late sub here. I don't know if we'll have enough time.
Now the pass rushers come on the field.
Close.
See if they can get after him. Quick throw, Titherington. Ball's loose. He picks up his own fumble, but he loses yardage all the way back to the 31-yard line. Disastrous play for the Wheaton Thunder. It's going to be 4th and forever as they trail it by 19.
Kind of definitely an awkward one. They're trying to catch the Falcons substituting. I guess the Falcons got off the field and they tried to quick snap, and just kind of a disaster. Really the first time we've seen elements really affect the line. So credit to both teams here, but
so we'll call it 4th and 22 from the 31-yard line, trying to get down to the Falcon 9. It is 4th down. 3 receivers. Falcons look like they're bringing pressure. Play clock down to 0. And flag comes out, and we are going to get a delay of game. So back them up even further. 4th and a country mile turned into 4th and 27. And Wheaton wants to use a timeout anyway.
Just a disastrous turn of events there for Wheaton. The fumble, recovery, lose yards on the recovery, and then don't get the play call in, get a delay of game, and then have to call a timeout anyways.
Yeah. So they move the ball all the way back to the 36-yard line, and at this point, with the first down marker being at the 9-yard line, and you're backed up so far, you may as well take a shot to the end zone here, right?
Right. You're taking a shot at the end zone, or maybe you have some sort of Ben Johnson middle hook and ladder or something like that. Maybe you throw that out, some sort of trickeration, to use a John Madden word. But yeah, you're taking a shot somewhere, somehow, some way, whether it's trick play or just taking a shot at the end zone.
Just a little over a minute to go here in this 3rd quarter. Falcons extend their lead out to 19 points, and with a crucial 4th down stop on Wheaton's last drive, it set up River Falls with okay field position, and then they hit a huge pass from Caleb Blaha to Jake Hilton to extend this lead. And now Wheaton really needs to pick up this 4th down and 27 to try to keep their season alive.
Crowd trying to warm up here with the wave too. But big 4th down here. Almost not quite 4th in ball game. It's only the 3rd quarter, but it's close.
Malachi Jones in there at tailback next to Forcucci. Straight drop. Lots of time. Well short of the marker, and he's going to be driven out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage by Taylor Susner. It'll be a turnover on downs. So again, the River Falls defense does its job. They stand tall, and they give the ball to their offense.
Yeah, bend but don't break. But yeah, you're driving if you're Wheaton, and then just disaster strikes multiple times in a row, and you just can't have that in this situation.
Now up 19, this Falcon offense going to try to bleed the clock here. This last quarter plus of football from River Falls, Wisconsin, and try to advance to the national semifinal for the first time in school history. Blaha and this offense back onto the field. Asher, the tailback. No surprise, they give it to him on 1st down, right into the heart of that Thunder defense. He's hit hard, maybe a yard or 2. Picked up by Trevor Asher, Coburn, and a couple others combined for the stop.
And this is one of the only scenarios where you're going to see the River Falls offense not be in a hurry. They're going to milk the clock and
really only have to snap it one more time here in this 3rd quarter. Jalen Reed comes on. He'll play in the slot. It'll be an empty set for Caleb Blaha. Looking to throw over the middle, incomplete. Rohrer looking for a flag, to no avail from the officials. It'll be 3rd down. Clock stops with 27 seconds to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, I thought that was just good coverage by Mason Haas there on Blake Rohrer. A little physical at the line of scrimmage, but I thought he let off in time, and good coverage there.
Again, Caleb by himself in the backfield. Reed, the lone receiver, and some movement off the left side. Looked like DJ Fox got those feet going a little too early. It'll be a false start and make it 3rd and 14 now.
You maybe think about just run the ball, get the game to the 4th quarter, and punt it away, and you're up 3 scores.
You do have the wind at your back at the moment.
This is, yeah, you maybe do want to, if you're going to punt, you want to punt it here,
right.
But.
Play clock down to 14. Falcons still trying to get organized. Reed moves to the left of Caleb Blaha. Low snap, he is going to throw. Now under some pressure. Looked like they were maybe trying to set up a screen, but Caleb was under some duress after the low snap, so he has to throw it away. Clock will stop, and the punt team comes on.
Wheaton is looking for a grounding. But
Yep, we got the explanation. He was outside.
Timely explanation there. Important punt here.
Jeffrey Freund, the freshman punter, for just the 2nd time today. Going to kick one away. This time standing at about his own 1-yard line or right on the goal line. Return man, Kortenhoven, right at midfield for Wheaton.
They're going to bring pressure here. Why not?
Yeah, lots of helmets at the line of scrimmage. Low snap, and he has trouble with it. Freund got to try to run away. Tries to kick it. Picked up by Wheaton inside the 5. Really close to the goal line. They're going to mark him just short. He does not get in for a touchdown, but a huge play in the special teams for the Wheaton Thunder. They're right on the doorstep of a touchdown.
Just disastrous special teams play here. We saw Wheaton struggle to catch a punt. I mean, punters aren't receivers. They don't catch the ball like we've seen these receivers do so far today. And Wheaton got away with theirs, and their punter did a nice job of getting it off. And see River Falls obviously struggle there, and a huge play.
So with 11 seconds to go here in this 3rd quarter, Falcon defense trying to get on the field. Wheaton runs an extra offensive lineman on the field at the last second. They'll have to allow River Falls to sub, can't snap it. Play clock down to 15, here we go. Howard in motion, handoff, Kreider. Up the gut, not in yet. Falcon defense stops him shy of the goal line. They're gonna mark him inside the 1.
They have the ball too.
They're going to say forward. It looks like forward progress is going to be stopped inside the 1 yard line. Wheaton retains possession. And that is going to be the final play of the third quarter. A lot of chaos in these last couple of plays here, Derek Staley. But River Falls, again, defensively stands tall, and for the moment, Wheaton will have another shot at the end zone.
Yeah, chaos is a good way to describe the last 2 minutes of that quarter there for both sides. But yeah, fourth quarter, national quarterfinal. Plan to go to the semifinals. This is as big as it gets for River Falls and for Wheaton here.
You and I and myself and Jeremy Kerg, who calls these games with us, have talked about it from time to time throughout the year. If there has been a weakness area for this Falcon team this year, it's been in the special teams.
Yeah, and it's kind of been different units at different times,
right.
As we've seen throughout the year. The kickoff units had some struggles. The punt unit hasn't really been a weakness at all, but the conditions will sometimes dictate and have other ideas for you. The return team has struggled at times. They've seemed to shore some of those up, and then they kind of rear their ugly heads at times again.
And today we've seen an extra point block. Now some trouble with a snap to a freshman punter. Punting and trying to punt in sub-zero temperatures here this afternoon. Things can kind of snowball on you.
Yeah, not an easy task, so I'm not.
Wheaton with a shot at 2nd and goal to start the fourth quarter. Handoff, Kreider again right up the gut. And again, it looks like they're going to mark him.
Right on the line.
Yeah, they're right at the line. Officials coming in. Still no signal. And now they say touchdown, Wheaton. Wheaton Thunder, Matt Kreider into the end zone to cut into this deficit.
He was laying a couple of yards into the end zone.
I think touchdown. One of the officials said touchdown.
If it's a touchdown, they're going to go for 2, which would make it an 11-point game, I believe. No, yeah.
There it is, the official call. And yeah,
yeah, they're going for 2. It'll be swinging gate, but they should go for 2 here.
So 33-20, pending potential 2-point conversion or extra point here. For the moment, it looks like they're going to set up to kick it. Jesh.
Don't understand if they kick it.
Lines it up. Smith, the holder. Jewett, the long snapper. Good clean operation. Jesh's extra point is right down the middle. So 33-21, again making it a 12-point game with 14:52 to go. And to your point, I'm not really sure what the thought process is there either, because if you go for 2 and you get it, cuts it down to 11, so you're talking about a field goal, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, now you need 2 touchdowns.
Right.
To win the game. Before you needed a field goal and a 2-point conversion, but still, you put yourself mathematically in a tougher spot.
Yep.
Unless you just feel like you are not interested in trying to kick a field goal.
Minimize it to the field goal opportunity. Yeah.
But going back to the touchdown, Wheaton, as we've seen, a lot of different formations and a lot of different personnel groupings. They go back to about 1950 and the straight T, which you see some high school teams have some success with, but you don't see a lot of college teams do. So a little creativity from Wheaton.
And that results in Matt Kreider's 15th rushing touchdown of the season to lead this Wheaton Thunder offense.
Now the kickoff becomes interesting. Do you kick it deep, or are you thinking surprise, a little onside kick, or plenty of time here?
Yeah, now Wheaton going to have the wind at their back here for the fourth quarter. Jesh has got it teed up. Wind seems to have died down a little bit here in this fourth quarter as the sun has set.
Thankfully, it's not.
Oh, and they're going to try a surprise onside. It didn't get to 10 yards, so River Falls is going to have excellent field position, and I think Wheaton was offsides anyway.
Yeah.
Waslowski was right there to be on top of it, even if it did go 10 yards. So River Falls was prepared for that.
And you maybe don't tell Waslowski to touch that if it's not going to go 10 yards.
Right.
And not take the chance.
Right.
But he's
Yeah, illegal procedure against Wheaton anyway. So
be denied or declined.
Yep. So River Falls up 12 in a great spot here as they're able to recover that surprise onside from the Thunder. And they will start with their best field position of the day on Wheaton's. Going to be at the 38-yard line now.
Bet some money we would see a couple Trevor Asher carries and maybe even a Caleb Blaha carry here. But as we know, River Falls isn't conventional.
Right.
So
really
they might take a shot here.
I was going to say, really in any facet of football. Caleb rolls directly to his right. He's going to throw, taking a shot, to your point, into coverage. Hilton had to come back to it and play some defense. He swats it to the ground wisely amidst 3 Wheaton defenders. Not a great decision to throw that ball from Caleb Blaha. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And Wheaton clearly wise to what River Falls might do. They were too deep. They were not thinking run. They had a too deep shell, meaning they were thinking pass. So it's credit to them being ready for that play. Good coverage.
Just 7 seconds off the clock on the incomplete pass. 3 receivers here on 2nd down. Reed goes in motion out of the backfield. Low snap. Caleb's going to run with it off the right side. Trying to get to the edge. He cannot. Great tackle right at the line of scrimmage. It's Zeke Harris making it 3rd and long.
Second big play he's made in the second half. He is fast. He's a good backer, and did a nice job there tracking down Caleb Blaha. Only about the 3rd designed run for Caleb this whole game.
3rd and long. Caleb looking to throw over the middle field. Got his man Rohrer inside the 25. Still fighting for yardage. Down to the 15. Finally, the pile is stopped as he has stood up, but a huge connection on 3rd and long from Blaha to Rohrer. Falcons move the sticks.
And obviously a big play. If you're Wheaton, you're maybe thinking big 77. DJ Fox might have been downfield because it was, I think, an RPO. DJ stops at about 5 yards and backpedals back there. Reverse here, fake one.
They fake it to Reed. Caleb looking towards the end zone. Fires it near side. Got Austin Rush inside the 10, and he's ripped down right away. But it's 1st and goal, River Falls. Haas on the coverage.
Wheaton, very good coverage on the front end of that. Not faked by the fake reverse. But Caleb staying patient and letting his very trusted receiver keep working and working and working and get open.
And they don't actually give him enough for a 1st down. It's 2nd and less than a yard at the 7-yard line. Asher, the tailback, they give it to him. Inside the 5, still bullying his way into the end zone. Touchdown, River Falls. 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Trevor Asher, and it's a big one for this Falcon offense.
He's big time run, big time play. It looked like he came up a little gimpy in his left arm there. Hopefully he's okay, but big time run to put this one back, pending the extra point, back to a 19-point game.
The sophomore from Elmwood, Wisconsin, finds pay dirt for the 2nd time. This is an 18-point game, and Chevrolet on to try to make it one more. Again, clean snap, kick is up, and it is perfect from Justin Chevrolet, and even 40 points on the board now for River Falls. And again, they lead it by 3 scores, 40-21 with 13:04 to go.
I don't think the camera caught it, but the ball boy just made a heck of a one-handed snag on that field goal. You missed it. It was a falling down over the snowbank, one-handed snag. Impressive.
In this cold too, he's diving into the snowbank. That is dedication.
Some of the crowd noticed. That was a big time catch.
Well, I'm glad he got his due from somebody.
Yep, someone noticed besides me.
It still says we're at -1 actual temperature. Wind chill sitting at 12 below. We've been floating right around 0 or 1 degree for most of the afternoon. Sun is gone now. Sun is set behind the press box here at Raymer Field, David Smith Stadium in River Falls, Wisconsin. Just a wonderful, wonderful football game we've been treated to here this afternoon. Falcons lead it by 19 at the moment, but Wheaton has pretty much answered every punch that River Falls has thrown here today.
Yeah, they've been moving the ball here in the second half, and another another factor here is this kick return team for Wheaton has done a great job against this Falcon kickoff team, giving them great field position just about on every kickoff. So they're doing their part in special teams.
Not a lot of football going on this weekend across the country, but the football that is happening, very impactful to the sport. Howard is going to be the up man that takes it at the 25, and he's just going to dive ahead, get as much as he can, crossing the 30, close to the 35. Decent field position here for the Thunder. 126th edition of the Army-Navy game in the fourth quarter. The Black Knights on top of the Midshipmen 16-10, but Navy with the football near the 40-yard line.
A little bit upset alert, but is there really an upset in that game ever?
No, I would say even on, if somebody's 0-11 and the other one's 11-0, and if the team with no wins wins the game, nobody's surprised.
Yeah, I think record is irrelevant in that game.
Yeah, always a super fun one. This year being played in Baltimore, Maryland.
Confusion here on the Wheaton side, but
Zach Barsh and Derek Staley, almost said my other partner's name here in the fourth quarter. For Cucci to throw here on first down. Plenty of time. Flag comes in. High throw. Incomplete. Knocked down right at the last second. Looks like Susner in coverage, but we're going to see what this flag's for.
In the vicinity of a hold. And shout out to Jeremy Kurg. He's done a nice, really great job all season.
And his stepdaughter graduated from UW River Falls this afternoon. And it was holding against Wheaton, so back him up 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20. We're inside 13 minutes to go now. Both of these offenses came in averaging 47 points a game. River Falls, the #1 offense in the country by total yardage, coming in with 560 yards per game. Falcons right on pace for their total here today.
They're still showing aggressive looks defensively here. They're not settling for anything, which they tend to not do. 10
seconds on the play clock. Wheaton finally in the formation they want, under center for Cucci.
Double pass.
Yep, we're going to try some trickeration. He is open. It's Titherington. Did he get a foot down inside Falcon territory? They're going to say it was a catch as he crossed the 45-yard line. Big connection on the trick play from Wheaton. Titherington, another long reception.
First down, Wheaton.
And they are moving the football.
Really nice trick play there. Good throw. Unfortunate for Wheaton that it kind of let him out of bounds, because that would definitely have been a touchdown.
Juska goes in motion for Cucci on play action. Throws it near sideline. Oh, nice defensive play by Trent Cherry. Got his hand in there to knock it away. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Really
dangerous throw.
Really good technique and footwork there by Trent Cherry on the near side. It's a very talented receiver that he's tasked to go against here on the near side in open space, and does a great job and almost gets the pick.
Howard exits. Whit Jewett comes in for an extra receiver. Kortenhoven and Titherington are the other two receivers on the field. Kreider the tailback. 2nd and 10 for the Thunder. Quick throw to the outside. It's Titherington. Not much, as he's pushed out of bounds by Andre Hall. Just a gain of about 2. It'll be 3rd and long.
Just still really impressed by Forcucci's arm in this cold and how the ball's coming out of his hands. He throws a tight spiral every single time, and given these conditions, it's very impressive.
His team down 19. Needs some points on this drive as we're going to go under 12 minutes to go in these national quarterfinals. Falcons look like they're bringing pressure on 3rd and 8. Juska, the tight end, moves into the slot. Now he's going to move back across the formation. They hand it off on 3rd and long. Not going to be much there. Maybe a gain of about 3. It'll bring up 4th down and 5. Falcons not fooled by the draw play on 3rd.
Yeah, just trying to catch the Falcon defense napping a little bit, thinking pass the whole way, and not a bad play call. It sets yourself up for 4th and pretty manageable.
Juska and Kreider exit. Malachi Jones comes in for this big 4th down. 4th down and 5.
They've tried Malachi Jones on a couple wheel routes that the Falcons have covered up so far.
Now they move him into the slot. Play clock down to 3. Straight drop for Cucci, looking that way over the middle, incomplete. Trying to hit Kortenhoven. It's not to be. It's a turnover on downs. Falcons take over up 19.
They tried the slant route again to Kortenhoven, which has worked so well for them there in the first half. Falcons jump it, causes the inaccurate throw, and big 4th down stop for the Falcons.
Now this Falcon offense can really try to chew the clock. Up 3 scores, under 11 minutes to go. We'll see Jonah Malberg, Jake Hilton, and Steven Reifenberger.
Now, will they chew the clock is the question.
Yeah, good point. Caleb, empty set, gonna throw. Looking left, wasn't there. Now he was gonna try to duck to his right, but I think he just kind of stumbled and said, I'll just hit the deck and we'll let the clock run a little bit. So it's gonna be a loss of 7 or 8 maybe.
Just lost the feet a little bit on the frozen field. One thing that Raymer Field does not have, which I don't think any D3 football field has, is a heated field, which you see in most every NFL field.
Would it really feel like Wisconsin football if we had a heated field, though? Quick throw this time is incomplete. Was looking for Jalen Reed, and it'll be 3rd down and 18 now for River Falls. Clock stops at 10:19.
Not a lot of need for a heated field, but today I suppose they wouldn't mind it. But if it's me, I'm thinking just maybe draw or run the ball here and try to get that clock running. But the Falcons likely won't do that. They're probably looking to take a shot here to try to pick it up. But
Reed will motion behind Caleb Blaha. Lots of time to throw. Steps up, still looking. Goes to his right. Pass was too high, looking for Reifenberger. And again, it'll be incomplete and stop the clock. Falcons will have to punt.
Looking for Reifenberger. There's a little contact there, but definitely not catchable. So flag not going to be thrown here. But hopefully we can the Falcons. Well, sorry, I'm supposed to be neutral, but if you're the Falcons, hopefully you're catching a punt and getting one off here.
Freund a little trouble the last time he was on the field with the low snap from Brandon Bedelov. Kortenhoven with his feet at his own 35-yard line, awaiting the punt. And again, Wheaton up to the line of scrimmage. This time a better snap. Freund gets it away. Spiraling punt, much better. Fair catch called for and made by Kortenhoven at the 42-yard line, and that's where Wheaton will take over. A lot better looking operation that time, Derek.
Much better, and good job by Bedloff, the long snapper, getting out of the way of that fair catch. It was close, so good job by him getting out of the way. Good snap, better operation.
So Wheaton again down by 19, comes back onto the football field, this time with just a little over 10 minutes to go. Trying to hang on, trying to save their season here in these final 10 minutes. Winner of this one advances to the national semifinals next Saturday. Winner will take on Johns Hopkins University. And if it's River Falls who moves on, they will be hosting right here at Raymer Field again next Saturday. For Cucci, straight drop. Pumped. Now he throws. Got Titherington, who does hang on after he bobbled it for just a second. He crosses the 30-yard line, or not quite crosses the 30-yard line before he ducks out of bounds. Excellent catch again from Titherington.
Yeah, he's got great hands and a very good throw. He was initially looking again for the double move, but both safeties for River Falls dropped back deep and had that covered and went to maybe his third option there. Good patience and ball control there.
1st and 10 from the Falcon 31-yard line. 2 tailbacks in the backfield with Cucci. They fake the handoff to Kreider. Pass rush coming, flag, or crowd wants a flag, but it doesn't matter. Defense gets home. 2nd sack of the day for this Falcon defense.
Jack Olson, I believe.
It was Jack Olson.
He's had a big game.
And he is barking with some of those offensive linemen after he gets off the turf, too. 2nd down and 15, loss of 5.
Usually a lot of communication that goes back and forth between the O and D line that he might be responding to.
Ball marked at the 35. Juska moves to the outside. Bottom of your screen. Again, play action. Going that way. Got his man. Juska underneath. Crosses the 30. Pushed out near the 26-yard line by Andre Hall. Pickup of close to 10 makes it 3rd and gettable now for Wheaton.
It's a 3-score game. You still have time here. Get a quick score. You don't necessarily have to onside kick. You're probably going to, but you don't necessarily have to. Especially if you get a quick score here.
Jessica exits. Jewett and Grupner on the field now. Kreider goes in motion. So they'll have 4 receivers to the top of your screen. Porcucci by himself. Now Kreider in motion. Looking over the middle. Oh, and it's tipped and behind the intended target, Grupner. It'll be 4th down again.
And he got walloped there by Connor McKenzie. Connor, he had to get rid of it because Connor McKenzie was coming in.
He did put the lick on him. Looking at the replay.
He's a tough dude, Porcucci.
So
stood in there.
4th down, and we'll call it 6 yards. Wheaton down 19 as we approach 8 minutes to go in the football game. Jessica, the tight end, will have a hand on the turf. Kortenhoven shifts to the left of the formation. Falcons with a lot of helmets at the line of scrimmage. They bring the pressure. Quick throw over the middle. Incomplete. Again, the pressure getting to Porcucci. Forces a bad throw. Falcon offense takes over.
Really good play design there. They brought the pressure and they jumped the short routes, knowing that he's not going to have enough time to let anything develop downfield. A bit of a gamble if they're going to take a shot, but if you're going to bring pressure, jump that slant route that they like to throw, and really good play design there on defense.
8:10 now on the game clock. Falcon offense back on the field, and they can smell that national semifinal berth for the first time in school history. 2 timeouts remaining for Wheaton. Caleb to throw. Weslowski again, a tough catch on the slant pattern. Picks up about 8 yards.
It's about his 3rd highly contested great catch of the game, and really good throw obviously there by Blaha. Still throwing the ball here, but the clock is running. That's good. Quarter for the Falcons.
Quarterfinal football under the lights in River Falls, Wisconsin. Raymer Field all lit up as the sun set behind us. Up high in the press box. Handoff. Looks like enough for a 1st down to Trevor Asher. They do move the sticks, give him 3 yards.
And 2 timeouts left for Wheaton here, and 1 for River Falls. Both teams have had to burn timeouts in situations they definitely did not want to, but
Trevor Asher has eclipsed the 100-yard mark. 106 rushing yards on the afternoon for the sophomore, to go along with a couple of rushing touchdowns. Looks like it's going to be an empty set for Caleb. Play clock down to 8. Clap of the hands from the All-American. Out to the outside. He's got Austin Rush crossing the 40, spinning, trying to get to the 45. He can't quite get there before he's brought down by a couple of Wheaton defenders. Mason Haas, the first one to hit him.
Nice easy throw. Kind of an extension of your running game there. Easy throw, easy pitch and catch that keeps the clock running.
And Caleb Blaha is over 350 passing yards for the afternoon now as well. Falcons right around 460 yards of offense, so about 100 yards shy of their average, but 40 points on the scoreboard. Pretty hard to complain, Derek Staley.
Exactly.
Weslowski in motion. Caleb to throw. Lots of time. Steps up. Looking for Weslowski, and he got him as he crosses the 50-yard line. Another 1st down for River Falls, this time into Thunder territory.
That was about his 4th option. Offensive line did a nice job of giving him plenty of time. Looking near side first, then he looked deep far side, and he waited for Weslowski coming back across the middle.
Falcons just content to let the play clock run down in between these plays. Staying efficient on this drive, continuing to move the sticks. Asher in motion. They'll swing it to him. with a little bit of space, gets a nice block that sprung him inside the 40, right near the first down marker. Trevor Asher continues to be the focal point of this Falcon offense today.
And that's another pass play, I guess, if you will, that's really just an extension of your run game. Just a little swing route to your running back that is sure hands. And nice play design when you know the defense is kind of geared up to stop the run and trying to. But the Falcons have not they've only run the ball, what, once or twice on this.
Wheaton was way off sides and they blow it dead. Johannick was trying to get a head start on trying to get after Caleb Blaha.
Blake Rohr was not happy that it was blown dead. He thought he had a step, but
Caleb was going to take a really hard hit there if they would have let that one go.
Absolutely the right call. He had a clear shot to the quarterback. That was the right call to blow that one dead.
So a 5-yard penalty gives River Falls a first down as we are inside of 5 minutes to go here. John Stone, the tight end, moves to the top of your screen along with Austin Rush. The clock will move again. Lone receiver to the bottom is Blake Rohrer. Caught a touchdown early in this one. And he's had a couple of really big catches to move the sticks for River Falls here this afternoon. Reed, the tailback in motion. Caleb, quick throw out to the outside to Reed. Got him crossing the 25, down inside the 20. Taken down by a couple of defenders, Colin Moore and Mason Haas. But another first down for the Falcons.
Like maybe a little pick concept over there, or rub concept to get Jalen Reed out in space.
We'll be inside of 4 minutes at the next snap. Trevor Asher is going to come back onto the field. And these fans here at Raymer Field can start to feel this Falcon team slowly inching their way closer and closer to the national semifinal game.
And they have not left.
No, everybody's still in their seat. Asher not much going here on the first down carry. Maybe got a yard off the left tackle spot.
I think the stakes of the game are probably keeping them in the stands. Falcons are content to let the clock get inside of 10 seconds before they snap the ball.
Yeah, was to your point about the crowd. Dedicated bunch of people here this afternoon dealing with sub-zero temperatures for the duration of the afternoon. Caleb steps up here on 2nd and long. Yep, rolls and just throws it away on that far side. Clock will stop at 3:05. It'll be 3rd down upcoming for River Falls. Wind chills somewhere around 15 below at the moment with these final 3 minutes on the game clock, Derek. This has been a treat, an absolute treat to call here this afternoon.
Very, very blessed, I guess, to call this game and to work with you this season.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot to cheer for.
Absolutely. Season to remember if you're a Falcon fan and a Wheaton fan. Great season for them also.
Caleb taking a shot. He's got Hilton. And wouldn't you know it, touchdown River Falls. Second time today, Jake Hilton. And River Falls with the exclamation point.
Exclamation point, icing on the cake. Another touchdown for Jake Hilton. Another deep shot. And that'll ice this one for the Falcons.
And then another great throw from Caleb Blaha. Hilton wide open, makes a sweet diving catch at the end. Falcons up 4 scores, and one more time, Justin Chevrolet on for the extra point.
The ice pun was intended.
Right. I didn't catch that right away. Ooh, bad snap on the extra point. Again, some special teams gaff from River Falls, and Holder Barnard will end up just kind of eating that one, getting tackled back near the 20-yard line. But so no extra point from Chevrolet. It remains 46-21. And if, again, Derek, right, we were talking about it earlier, if there's one thing that this Falcon bunch could clean up, not only heading into next weekend, but if you're looking beyond that to potential Stag Bowl appearance, it's the special teams game.
Right, yeah, you can't, looking ahead to Johns Hopkins right next week, and they don't get easier. They don't get easier. Johns Hopkins, and then John Carroll and North Central. That's going to be another good battle over there. You can't make mistakes like that and expect to win a national title.
Right. And we've been talking about it. The winner of this game, which looks like all signs appearing that it's going to be River Falls moving on to the national semifinal. The other side of the bracket is going to be the kind of the darling of the tournament so far, John Carroll, who upset the #1 overall seed Mount Union last weekend. They beat Berry College 21-13 this weekend, so they advance, and they will play the defending national champion North Central Cardinals on the other side of the bracket next week for their shot to get in the national championship as well. So really 4 really quality football teams left here in mid-December. Squib kick here by River Falls, taken by, I think, Howard. Crosses the 35, big hit. Forward progress going to be marked at about the 36-yard line. So Wheaton down 25 and 2:53 on the game clock. Will send their offense back onto the field.
Stop by 31, Jared Schultz. First down.
And a great season for Wheaton. They had some
excellent
upset of their own over a very good Wartburg team a couple rounds ago.
And I just realized this too. Score in all likelihood is going to hold here. Wheaton's 3 losses this year are going to be to the top 3 teams in the final regular season poll.
That's an impressive schedule that they play, and it speaks to their confidence and their willingness to go out and play Mount Union.
Right.
The first week of the year, and they battled with them. I think it was an 8-point game, if my memory holds. So credit to them for scheduling them, and they're clearly a very good football team, obviously.
And 6 straight playoff appearances for this Thunder program out of a really tough football conference too. You're going up against North Central every single year in that league, and Wheaton continues to push the fold and move things forward. They make a quarterfinal appearance obviously this year. They had to be road warriors, except for their first game. They knock off Crown College. Forcucci off the bad snap, taking a shot far sideline. It's high intended for Titherington. It's going to be incomplete, but they play their first playoff game at home. They blow out Crown College, and then they've had to be road warriors the last 3 weekends. And to their credit, they've looked really sharp, and at some points today have looked really sharp too. And it's unfortunate you run into a tough team like River Falls that ends your season. But again, excellent year for the Wheaton Thunder.
Yeah, they were them and River Falls probably the hottest team in the playoffs. Offense was humming and really got things going at the right time, and a great season for them.
3rd and long for this Thunder offense. Forcucci under pressure over the middle, nearly intercepted. It'll be 4th down, but almost the 3rd interception of the day for this Falcon defense. This time it was Peter Ledoux in coverage. That is going to bring us to our 2-minute timeout, and it'll be a 4th and 11 for the Thunder upcoming. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Do you know anything about Johns Hopkins looking forward to next weekend for River Falls?
Not a lot. My focus this week was on Wheaton College, and I watched a good amount of film on them, and obviously I've seen River Falls throughout the year. So definitely get a chance to tackle some film on them.
Yeah.
I won't be calling the game next week because we'll get a different crew in here from ESPN, I think, but potentially. I don't know things, but yeah, I haven't had a chance to see them yet. Don't really know their style, but what I do know is that they are going to have to adjust to River Falls, because River Falls is a very unique team to play. Which is a benefit to them in the playoffs. And
a 4th straight home game for this River Falls Falcons team. Unprecedented season, winning the conference outright for the first time since 1986, making a playoff appearance for the first time since 1995, hosting their first ever playoff game this year, and now a spot in the national semifinal. Forcucci on 4th and 11, under pressure, far side. Oh, nice adjustment to the football. Great catch made in Falcon territory at the 35-yard line. This is Whit Jewett. Wheaton keeps their drive alive as we go under 1 minute and 50 seconds. Great throw from Forcucci and an even better catch from Jewett.
Yeah, Forcucci's not done yet. So he's we were kind of talking like the end of the game here, but Forcucci's still battling. They're still fighting.
Yeah, and again, we talked about what a year they've had, and this character and this attitude that they have right now is a big reason for that. Taking a shot, first down, Kortenhoven inside the 5, it's incomplete. He had it for a second. Pretty good coverage from Trent Cherry, but an excellent throw from Forcucci gave his receiver a shot, just couldn't hang on.
Yeah, what a season and a career that Forcucci has. I don't know for sure if he's done eligibility-wise, but great season this year, over 3,000 yards passing. The all-region honors,
right. And anytime your name gets mentioned in the same breath as the Gallardi Trophy,
yep.
you're doing something correct. Jones goes in motion, or excuse me, that's Juska, and they'll swing it to him, the tight end, bobbling catch, and he's pushed out of bounds in front of the Falcon bench inside the 30 by Andre Hall. It'll stop the clock at 1:27 and bring up 3rd down.
And then speaking of Andre Hall, we did an early game for River Falls, and we were very suspect of their defensive backfield, and what a good job they've done of getting better and growing this year, and credit to them and their coaching, because they did a really good job against a very talented quarterback and receiver group here.
Yeah, WIAC Newcomer of the Year, Taylor Susner, a part of that group this year, one of the stud safeties for this Falcon team. He led the team, or does lead the team, in interceptions. Forcucci straight drop on 3rd down, lots of time, middle of the field, high throw is tipped, and it's going to be incomplete again. He was looking for Titherington. It'll be 4th down and 3 upcoming. Falcons actually, I think I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but River Falls leading the country in interceptions. Came in with 24. They had 2 of those today, so up to 26 on the season now.
That's a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
They are in a lot of situations where teams are down and have to throw,
right,
which certainly helps, but you have to go make plays and go pick the ball off when they're in the air. So that's an impressive stat.
4th and 3. $1:21 now on the game clock. Forcucci in the pistol. Kingsbury moves tight to the formation, their left tackle. Fake the handoff. Flag is down. Opposite side of the field throw is incomplete. Was looking for Juska, the tight end, but we'll see. For the moment, it's Falcon ball, but that flag came in super early.
I'm not sure what it is here.
MIAC officials are talking this one over. It looks like it's going to go against Wheaton. Yep, so illegal formation. That, of course, is going to be declined by Matt Walker. And in his 15th season, his Falcons are going to get the football back, and they are headed, looking like they're going to be headed to the national semifinal for the first time in his tenure and school history, as that Falcon team starting to celebrate with the hometown crowd.
Just soaking it in here a little bit. You hear the crowd getting excited. Sideline trying to pump up the crowd. They're going to take a knee here.
Victory formation for this Falcon offense, as backup quarterback Caden Wick, the freshman from Savage, Minnesota, went to Prior Lake High School in there to do the honors for this Falcon team. All-American quarterback and Gallardi Trophy hopeful Caleb Blaha on the sideline for this last possession. Falcons just need to snap it one more time.
The dream season continues for the Falcons. They had designs on making this type of run, winning the WIAC, and maybe making a run in the playoffs. And here they are, going to the national semifinals.
Again, unprecedented. So many firsts for this team and this program this year. And among them, now you can include a trip to the national semifinals, in which they will be hosting on their own home field next weekend against Johns Hopkins. As that will be the final snap here from River Falls, Wisconsin. Both teams head to midfield to exchange handshakes. A good an excellent Division III football game from Western Wisconsin here this afternoon. Once again, my name's Zach Barish. My partner's name Derek Staley. It was a pleasure bringing it to you. Super good season from the Wheaton Thunder. We talked about it already, but so many things that so many people knew that this Falcon football team was capable of coming into the year, and to see them coming to fruition now is sweet nectar to the people that have followed this program for such a long time. To finally see this program and the things that they've been doing start to pay off with a trip to the national semifinals next weekend. Can't say enough good things.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been an honor doing a few games with you and getting to see this team grow. And we're both alums, so we were here for when the program was in a pretty bad spot. So it's exciting for us as alums to see what Coach Walker and his staff has done. The dream season continues, and it just credit to them, and can't say enough about what they've done this year. And it's just awesome to see for them.
And you see it there. Falcons head back to their own sidelines, celebrating with the home crowd, celebrating with each other as they should. 40-46-21, the final from River Falls, Wisconsin. I want to make sure we thank everybody involved with this afternoon's broadcast. Charlie Soa, Scott Hall, and their staff that brought you all the sights and sound. Camera operators today were Cassie, Joe, and Sadie. Our replay technician was Alex, and our producer was Evan. Once again, Derek Staley was the color man. My name is Zach Barsh. I was on play-by-play duties, as I am for most fall Saturdays here from Raymer Field. It's been a privilege and an honor. If we don't get a chance to call the game next Saturday, this has been such a fun ride, and I look forward to the game next Saturday. Either way, this is awesome for the program, awesome for the university, and a great thing, obviously, for the WIAC, having a team advance to the Final Four, and just an excellent sight to see here this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me once again, and just can't say enough, and I'm very thankful and excited to see what happens next week, and on to the next one.
Wheaton is going to drop to 11-3 overall. This is the conclusion of their season. It comes at the hands of the River Falls Falcons, who will go to 12-1 overall, and again will be hosting next Saturday, to be determined kickoff time, right here at Raymer Field against Johns Hopkins University. For my partner Derek Staley, for everybody involved in this afternoon's broadcast, again, my name is Zach Barsh. Final score from Raymer Field this afternoon: Falcons 46, Thunder 21. This has been Division III football on ESPN.